So today I'm going to be smoking a cigarette in a handicapped parking spot to take away parking from the disabled, from the people who need it most, which I will admit I am very excited to do.
Literally, when they are doing the exact thing that will create real mass anti-Semitism by labeling the unpopular collapsing New World Order government and saying it's run by Jews and they're the ones doing it. Labeling Jew, 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 Jew on every topic. Hey, we shouldn't have human smuggling. That's anti-Semitic. Hey, we shouldn't have fentanyl coming to us. That's anti-Semitic. Hey, I think there's some election fraud. Anti-Semitic. Hey, I'm against this war. Anti-Semitic. Hey, I'm against it. You know, I mean, folks. You're Jewish, right?
I'm actually not. I'm raised Roman Catholic, but I have a great affinity for the Jewish people in Israel.
You're gay. That's what it is. There's always something.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're having a wonderful day today. I can't hide it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's another one of those days where things that you thought were happening behind the scenes, little red flags here and there, and then all of a sudden they all come to fruition at the exact same time. And while yes, I am a little, ecstatic, some would say, I do want to be clear that this is actually some really, really disgusting behavior. 110 Shill Actual. So bitch made, he might as well be a home cooked meal. How about that? Got some real problems here, okay? Got some real problems. Some very inappropriate behavior, to say the least. Some wild accusations floating about. And maybe some personal stories. We have other things to talk about, I'm sure. There's rage bait. There's other Ben Steger drama that I involved myself in, of course. As one does. We got quick little war updates, and then we're just going to get right into it, okay? So I'm not going to wait any longer, dude. I'm not going to wait any longer. We might as well just get right into it. Dank, Richard. How's everybody's night going?
Pretty good, pretty good.
I'm doing good. I got the popcorn waiting.
That's right. All right. Well, hey, relax. We got a couple minutes. Okay, we are going to wait a couple minutes, just to edge the guys along a little bit, because we have a couple fast things that I just wanted to talk about. These happened earlier on in the week, but we had the Rolling Stone going after Brandon Herrera. Says accused sexual harasser GOP candidate steps down. An apparent neo-Nazi takes his place. Brandon Herrera boasted about having a copy of Mein Kampf, and he's now the GOP nominee for Texas District 23rd. Huh. So
No, that's the only bad book.
Yeah, it's very bad. Do not read that. Dude, you can't even own that book, dude. It should be a crime or something like that, I guess. The word apparent trying to keep Rolling Stone from a defamation lawsuit. Rolling Stone does not have a good history with defamation lawsuits either. Like, lots of big settlements, lots of big payouts in their past. And listen, I know that it's fun to meme about Brandon Herrera being like the rightist wing literal Hitler reincarnation or something like that. He's just not that guy, though. He's just not that guy, right? They're thinking he's like literally, he must believe everything that Mr. Badman did because he owns a book or something like that. And honestly, a very collectible book. If you have a 1939 edition printed in English, like, not only is that rare and definitely a collector's piece, but it's worth some coin. Just don't ask why those coins have ridges in them, okay? Because that would be problematic. But Rolling Stone, just this close to another defamation case, which honestly, I mean, Brandon doesn't need the money, but if you wanted to hand him a couple mil, the few million that he didn't get from AIPAC, probably would go quite well for him. Last week, a few days ago, we saw the new Iranian frigate thing. What do they call these? The Soleimani class? Weird. What are they called again, Richard? You had the word for it.
Catamaran.
Catamaran. Yeah. With the raised middle section. And now we got the high-res footage of it actually getting blown up. Now, the other footage that we have that I don't have pulled up right now is the Iranian oil fields. A lot of their gas infrastructure absolutely up in flames, which is a big disaster. Makes it look like a major apocalypse over there in Tehran right now. Also very interesting. I thought gas prices were going to continue to go up, but maybe some economist or analyst in the chat can fill me in here. But the oil price today actually dropped like $30. It was up to like 118, I want to say. And then as of right now, it's sitting at 87. So it's back down under $100 a gallon, which I mean is good for us. So I'm not sure what exactly was happening there. But maybe some analysts can tell me why gas prices would go down. Maybe it's because we opened up the Strait of Hormuz. Maybe it's because Trump earlier said that maybe we're basically done with the war. Although famously Bush said the exact same thing in the early stages.
Guys.
Yeah, mission, big sign behind him. Mission accomplished. Took us less than a week.
Now,
but I mean, hey, as long as yeah, exactly. Now, for me, it's not a terrible thing, because I live in South Dakota and gas is like still under $3 a gallon most places.
Lucky.
However, for some of the other homies, what the heck is going on here? Is that still playing? It's totally broken. Huh. That is totally broken. Okay, sorry guys, the alerts are totally broken for Ko-Fi right now. I can't fix it. We'll try to have to do it later on in the stream. But with those few little updates out of the way, we're just going to jump into it, okay? We have got 110 SAS versus Boondock Ballistician, or Boondock Battystician, as a couple of the gentlemen in our Discord continuously refer to her as, okay? So we have 110 SAS, million subscriber channel, Big fan of Badlands ammo, may even work for them, although he continues to deny actually working for them, despite what his own Facebook posts may seem to indicate, which we'll get into. So yes, 110 SAS Actual versus Boondock Ballistician. And listen, all right, she can take a joke.
Well.
She can take a joke. This is from her Instagram. This is her Instagram, all right?
That's
And again,
a great
keep
photo.
in mind that she is known as Boondock Ballistician to a couple of our hardcore Discord members. So, or Batty Ballistician, or there's a few. What is it? Goondocks Ballistician. There's a bunch of different plays on the same phraseology floating around in the Discord to some of you guys. All right, but I mean, listen. All right, we got true American Cornhusker versus Autism R Us. Okay,
110's the only guy I know who could shuck corn without his hands.
Yeah.
True.
He runs through the fields
Goondock.
backwards.
Yeah, for feel. It's like you eat a Snickers upside down because it makes you feel like home or something. Whatever. 100% true. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, 110 SAS Actual the other day, he put out a video. The other day, it should be 2 weeks ago at this point. The fastest 5.56 ever? Question mark. Now, surely somebody who engages in a little bit of clickbait wouldn't deny me the same with my thumbnails. Surely, Mr. SAS Actual, of course. Anyways, and in that video, he goes through how he allegedly loaded a case up to 120,000 psi to accelerate a 36 grain projectile to under 4,200 FPS, which, according to legends, has been done decades ago with half the powder volume. So it would seem to me like he's lying, right? It would seem to be that's a bald-faced lie to drum up attention, I guess, to your new ammo case manufacturer buddies that you have affiliate links with and that you seem to operate very closely with, right? Mr. Actual. I think I'm just going to call him Mr. Actual for the rest of this video. Anyways, and then Boondock goes ahead and calls out the videos in question, saying your record-breaking 5.56 is a blatant lie, which it simply is. You don't need 120,000 psi to accelerate a 36 grain projectile to less than 4,200 feet per second. And in fact, the same has been accomplished within 100 FPS at like 52,000 psi, 55,000 psi. So what you're claiming here is just a bald-faced lie. Now, if I wanted to steelman Mr. Actual's position, it would be that he simply didn't know, but then why did he make the claim over and over and over again? And also, something else that he continues to say with the NAS3 case, which we'll get into with Badlands, is that he has this wild little claim right here underneath his video saying, and it works on any AR-15? I'm going to keep it real with you, dog. 120,000 PSI inside of a 5.56 case does in fact not work in any AR-15 and should in fact not be considered safe. And some would argue, as Boondock did, that that is so egregious as to be dangerous information to put out there, right? It's like, I don't know, saying you can swallow gasoline in a match at the same time and it'll make you go real fast.
Well, it will once.
Remember that one guy who's Free Palestine?
Yeah, not safe, not cool. And again, all of this, it's the lying about the numbers or just the numbers being incorrect, right? The numbers being off by a factor of 2, right? Not a little, rounding error here or there, but off by a factor of 2. It's the claims that 120,000 PSI would somehow be safe in any weapon when it's currently not safe in anything as far as I'm aware. And also the very close tie that he has to the business of Badlands Munitions. One being financial, of course, with his affiliate link, pushing it in every single video that he has. And I'm sure he's made a lot of money from it. And they've made a lot of money from him shilling their products. Even though from people who have tested their ammunition independently have not gotten the FPS claimed on Badlands' website. So it's almost like they're getting lied to by Badlands. In some of these cases, these people are alleging that they're not getting the performance that they were promised 3,000 years ago, or in this case, $3,000 ago, right? Because this ammunition is not inexpensive. And some of these guys listen to your claims, believe your claims, buy the ammo off the claims, and then it doesn't do the thing that it's supposed to do.
Yeah, we fudged the numbers a little bit. M110 SAS Actual, he might fudge pack the numbers a little bit, though.
Fudge pack the numbers. All right, well, anyway, so there was, of course, the back and forth. The initial videos by 110 SAS, which he really shills this ammo so hard. And it's the most popular series on his channel, so you could see why he keeps making more and more outlandish claims, more and more hype about the product, even though, again, how much of it is really true? Some would argue less than others. And then Boondock makes a simple response video. Now, I gotta be real here. Response videos happen. They should happen. You're ostensibly a man, Mr. Actual. You should be able to take a response video in kind. You can respond. You can put out your own video. It's like, oh, well, hey, I got this wrong. The number is off here, something like that. All of that is well and good and should be expected. And that's part of healthy discourse, right? So if I put up a video saying like, I don't know, X gun is literally the best of all time, or the inverse is the worst of all time. And somebody's like, well, actually, I think it's pretty good. And here's my 8 reasons why I think it's better than what John's laying out here. Totally valid response to do, right? Totally valid. That is a part of healthy discourse, is to have disagreements over things.
Yep. If you speak publicly, people respond to you publicly.
And here's the problem. Yeah, this, as we'll get into, messing with my revenue stream. So here is the video that I downloaded, and I screenshotted a lot of the comments, of course, because I'm not sure how long any of this stuff is actually going to stay up. So that's why you always download, you always screenshot. That way I just have it in my back pocket at some point in the future, right? Because you never know. You never know what's going to happen. Now, here we go. This is his video that he put up on Instagram responding to her claims. And there's just a couple things that he leaves out, right? Just a couple things that he fails to mention that he did before this video went up, right?
There was a really nasty video put out this weekend by a Boondocks ballistician, a video.
So right off the bat, really nasty video. It's an 8-minute response video, and it's very tame. And she lays out why your numbers are wrong, why this is something that's been done before, and your potential conflict of interest with your ammo sponsor, right? And possibly business partner, right? Possibly you work for them or some combination of all three, right? All of which is fair game. It's not nasty to call out your bad numbers. And again, this is all predicated on your bad numbers, your lies, your incorrect numbers.
There was a really nasty video put out this weekend by a Boondocks ballistician, a video titled Blatant Liar, where we gather muzzle velocity with a Garmin chronograph on camera.
Yeah, but that's not the problem that she's saying. She says your record-breaking 5.56 is a blatant lie, right? So you're not even getting her title correct. And because it's true, your record-breaking 5.56 is a blatant lie, right? Now, lie, you might argue, that's too harsh. I'm just really stupid. It's like, whatever, take your pick. 120,000 PSI, not real, not a real thing, not true. And the number is, again, record-breaking isn't even true either. So the whole thing is lying or incorrect. Take your pick.
And instead of reaching out like, hey, how'd you do it? What kind of powder did you use? What kind of Projos did you use? They just defaulted to this really nasty video. And
because the numbers are off, right? And this is the thing. These types of people, Mr. Actual, they feel so entitled to your goodwill. They feel so entitled to the benefit of the doubt, right? Whereas from my perspective, you have a relationship with this company. I see you lying about the numbers, fudging the numbers, getting the numbers incorrect. I don't owe you the benefit of the doubt. If I feel that you are lying to your audience, guess what, buddy? I don't have to check with you before I go public with something. this is the same argument I get from manufacturers when I get a product and it like blows up. And they're like, oh, well, you got to talk to the manufacturer before you make a video. It's like, I don't work for them. What are you talking about? I work for my audience. I don't care about the manufacturer. They sent product bad. Womp, womp. You don't deserve the benefit of the doubt for existing. It's like, no, thank you, actually.
In the video, my words are completely misconstrued. They left out key and vital information to straight up lies, and getting the Projo that we use, the grain of it, completely wrong. And that's odd because I have a tremendous amount of respect for this person. They make great content and they're super knowledgeable.
And it's also the content.
Well,
Little condescending there, sir. It's so strange because I really love Boondock and her content. She's so knowledgeable, but I was so offended that she called me out on my bullshit. Oh no, it made me so upset when she did that. And I really wish you would just. And again, when it gets into what this person did beforehand, while he's pretending to be, oh my gosh, I love Boondock so much. She's so nice. She does such great work. I just wish you would have talked to me. I just wish. It would have been so nice. It would have been so awesome. He leaves out a couple little things, which we'll get into.
But there seems to be a serious level of disconnect and just misunderstanding here. So I'd like to give you the opportunity to maybe see what's going on, where this
I'd like to give you, Dank, when you're mad at me, I would like to give you the opportunity to see eye to eye on this, all right?
Oh, you're giving me an opportunity?
Sounds like this is like me if I put my finger in your chest, right? I walk up to you, I put my finger in your chest, and I'm like, listen, I'm going to give you the opportunity to fix your statement. Yeah?
Oh, thank you, massa. Thank you, massa.
It's like, damn, that's doesn't come across the way you think it does. I'd like to give you the opportunity to clear the air on this, Miss Boondock.
Down on people, talking down to people is.
It's like, listen, Boondock might be short, but you can't act like that. Come on.
Not as short as Trench Grenade.
Oh, sounds like a mega church pastor. I'm getting that little bit of snake oil vibe, a little bit, little used car salesman vibe going on here.
Serious level of disconnect and just misunderstanding here. So I'd like to give you the opportunity to maybe see what's going on, where this disconnect is at, because tell you the truth, I would like to collaborate with you on this. If there's any information that's wrong, I'd love to correct it. If you're saying it's...
Well, that's the thing, right? She did correct you on it. Your PSI numbers are off. 120K PSI would not be safe in anything. And so there's no more clarification needed. That's it. That's the end of the story. Like, sorry, bro.
If there's any information that's wrong, I'd love to correct it. If you're saying it's less pressure, heck, that means we got more speed to work with. So this could be fun. But let's just address this and see what's going on.
Oh, heck.
Yeah. Dude, it's so HR coded. He's like, what, guys, we just got to talk about this later. Why don't you just come by? We'll talk about this later. All right.
Okay, Mr. Marketing Director, please talk like a human.
Listen, I would prefer you not mess with my income flow before you talk to me about it in private, please. I would like to have no public blowback upon the retarded statements that I make, please. Please and thank you. I'll give you the chance to correct the record on this one, Miss Boondocks. Please. Yeah, very shameless. Hope you're having a good night, Approacher Band. Wild. Anyways, he also is just perhaps one of the most snaky individuals I've ever had the misfortune of talking to. Because we have had a couple conversations, and I'll get into that. Then he comments on his own Instagram post, @Boondock Ballistician. Hopefully we can clear this up and maybe work together in the future.
Heart.
Okay, but here's the thing. Ready? Are you ready for what this this individual called her place of work? Yeah, Mr. Actual called Boondock's place of work, pretending to inquire about her mother, and then went to the upper management to complain about their employees' inappropriate behavior online. Huh. What What a wacky change of pace, Mr. Actual, which I think is so ironic that you have actual in the name, when again, you might be the fakest human imaginable. So you have this schwarmy, mega pastor HR vibe video come out as if you didn't just call her place of work and attempt to get her fired. Ostensibly, right? I mean, if I call your place of work and tell them, do you know what your employee has been doing online? Do you know what this young lady's been saying online? You ought to watch what she does over there. I find this very inappropriate.
This is Psycho X coded. This is insane.
So anyway, so he called the business twice. His original call, he was asking for me, asking what my last name was. Very important. That in the back of your mind for some of the past things that Mr. Actual may or may not have done, asking for last names, all right? Asking what my last name was, and when asked what he was calling for, it was to speak with me about my mom. And then the second call was to talk with my bosses about my inappropriate behavior online.
That sounds threatening as I just
wow.
to call a
What
stranger at work and be like, "Hey, how's your mom doing?"
Well, no, so he was lying to whoever he got on the phone with. He's like, oh, I really need to talk to, looks up Jessie to talk about her mom, right? Because Jessie's name is public as far as I'm aware. I think it's on her Instagram. And then trying to figure out her last name to get more information on her, to potentially dox her. Yeah, just very, and also like, people know where Boondock works, okay? I mean, it's like a secret, right? But it's not like a secret. She doesn't advertise it. But insanely inappropriate to call them. I mean, yeah, true. It's true, actually. This rabbit hole goes deep. Her name is not actually Boondock. What? Anyways,
that was her actual legal name.
Just listen, now that you guys know that, listen to this video one more time, right? With the knowledge that he called her work before he posted this video, I believe, that's the timeline, and threatened her, or threatened her employer, or tried to report her for what she did, which is, again, a response video.
There was a really nasty video put out this weekend by a Boondocks ballistician, a video titled Blatant Liar, where we gather muzzle velocity with the Garmin chronograph on camera. You know, and instead of reaching out like, hey, how'd you do it? What kind of powder did you use? What kind of Projos did you use? They just defaulted to this really nasty video. And in the video, my words are completely misconstrued. They left out key and vital information to straight up lies and
leaving out information. Hey, maybe you shouldn't have called her employer asking, are you aware of what Mrs. Boondocks is doing online? You really ought to look into that, all right? Being very problematic. I totally didn't call earlier and pretend to be inquiring about her mom to get more information out of you, though.
Yeah, speaking about leaving out information, what he
Yeah, it's so scummy. What a scummy dude. We have Arms Investor in here. She hurt your feelings, so you called her employer and then made this? Yikes, man. Yikes. Now, anyways, I just want to clear up just some ideas about like the subject matter itself from a couple memes and then Boondocks herself, and then we'll get into the rest of the conversation as it goes and some other problems, because again, we're not even done yet, okay? That's not it. If that was the only thing, I do want to be very clear, that is insanely disgusting behavior that should be career ending. You should not be allowed to do that. The YouTube community should turn its back on you if that's true, okay? That is insanely bad. Horrible. All right? At no point should you be calling somebody else's employer for a mediocre roast video. And I don't mean mediocre as in like poor quality, but it just wasn't like, it's not a spicy hit piece. You know, like I've had lawyers called on me for videos I've made, and I'm like, okay, whatever. But I mean, the truth is always a great defense, so nothing ever comes of it, you know? But it's like, I get that at least, because they're trying to protect their reputation. But this was like nothing. This was how, what did I say? Bitch made, all right. 36 grain, 556 at 4,000 FPS. Factory loads. Yeah, reloaders have used brass cases to hit 42. So the more case volume, because you get more case volume with the NAS 3 cases, shouldn't result in a massive PSI spike. Yeah, that makes sense to me. So the FPS isn't revolutionary and the PSI shouldn't be insane. No, it's a world record and I'm calling your employer, right? And so this is a whole, it's all based off of a lie. You didn't need 120,000 PSI to crack 4,100 FPS. You didn't need 80,000. You probably didn't even need 60,000, maybe 62, right? Whatever the actual numbers are. I'm not a mathematician, okay? I'm not a ballistician. But I know somebody who is, right? You know, and I mean, it's funny that a little bit of notes on a, you know, what is essentially a napkin drawing is just destroys your whole argument here. So 55 PSI for 35 grain, 4,000 feet a second. And you can see this is her little note that this is all within brass, of course. So if you wanted 4,100 feet per second, you would need 56,000 PSI.
Dude, imagine
in brass.
getting debunked by a napkin.
Yeah, you know, it's like some scribbles on a napkin just destroys your whole argument. And again, if you had just been like, yeah, guys, I got the numbers wrong. I did the math wrong in my head. And, you know, it wasn't 120,000 PSI. It was actually 56. The problem is it's no longer record breaking. So that's your first lie or stretch or exaggeration, whatever you want to call it. And it's not 120,000 PSI. And that's certainly not safe. That is that's bad information to be putting out, which you deserve to be called out for, right? Like if I said 300 blackout fires safely in every Socialist Rifle Association member of America's 5.56 rifle, you would say based, but that is technically incorrect information.
I don't know. I think we should give it a try.
It would fire at least once.
It's kind of like evolution,
Yes.
right? We just need enough socialists to try it before an AR evolves to the point where it can take 300 blackout.
Oh, they
Pokemon,
can take
just
it.
goes all shiny and morphs into something new.
AMR, stop making sense, dude. Stop it, dude. He's not do work for your million sub YouTube channel. What are you talking about? Also, keep in mind that an area that we really haven't touched on all that much, I've mentioned it a couple times, is Mr. Actual. Excuse me. Mr. Actual and Shell Shock, Badlands, whatever you want to call it, are pretty tight. How tight? Not sure. All right. I'm sure they know how tight they are or loose they are, of course, but seems to be some sort of connection there, right? Which we'll get into. But before we do, you know, there's the generic memes floating around, of course. Very funny. Laugh it up because it is, of course, quite funny. Thank you, Lena, over on Ko-Fi.
Yay.
Appreciate that. Yeah, you know, I don't know anymore which one's the real one, but I would. The curse of the medallion, it never lies. It never lies, dude. Anyways, and then, of course, we just have a masterpiece. A masterpiece by Mr. Krogs in the Discord. So we do have to go through this, of course. And I don't even think it's in any particular order. Speak with me about my mom. We have an Instagram post here at the bottom, deleted comments, page isn't available, because it should be noted that, you know, I requested Mr. 110 Sass to come on the show and talk about it, just answer some questions. There were a few other people in there commenting, and he was fighting. 110 Sass was giving it a good fight. You know, a couple ratios here and there, nothing too drastic. But then he just started deleting comments and blocking people, which I thought was quite funny, of course. His connections to bad dragon munitions, very high cortisol, very problematic. Boondock Patistician said 271 Sass Actual was a dirty little liar, and he got mad. Oh, that's funny. And of course, you know, just saying, completely avoided answering questions. Typical woman strategy, avoidance, and deflection. Cumsock, ballistician, defender. Oh my gosh, these guys. All right, let's see what else. What else is in here? You're blocked. Yeah, you're blocked. Y'all sim so hard. You trash Boondock. Then the second she arrives, you defend her like rabid dogs. Hopefully, we could clear this up and maybe work together in the future. Of course, we got the focus trip community in here, which is literally almost 900 of you right now. That's right. People are eating good right now. Yeah, calling her employer over this is a low move. Not a good look for you, man. Get back to your slop YouTube comment. Just checked. I've been blocked now as well. Logan sucks at shooting. friend of the show, friend of the channel, been on many times. A very simple call out, hey, maybe you shouldn't call her place of work. And also calling his content slop. Kind of a compliment, honestly. So, Mr. Actual, you should have taken it in stride, all right? And then, of course, we have the picture of him taking it in stride reverse style. There's some comments about Boondock in here. Does she have fetal alcohol syndrome? Corporate needs to find the difference between this picture, Plank of Wood or Boondock. It's just, they're all there, okay? But he said it was safe in all ARs. Works out of any AR-15, question mark. And of course, we have a carrier that has ingested a bolt further than that corn of the cob a minute ago.
Detonate any AR-15.
True.
Enough rounds.
I think we call that the banana.
Again, I asked, hey, I know a way to clear this up. It involves screaming and yelling live at Boondock. Drama Merchant, that's me. Focus Trip is Keemstar confirmed. Actual Gnome, too, as well. Even if Boondock Balistician is right, I'm a misogynistic pig. Get back in the kitchen and make us sandwiches, you whore. If she was hotter, I would respect her opinion more. If she were hotter, I wouldn't have a chance. Ouch. Whoa, true. Do it for her. Yeah. And of course, Brass Facts gets brought into all of this for reasons, of course. Clayco getting his popcorn out. Don't worry, I'll protect you. Lots of things, okay? The memes are great on all sides. On all sides, the memes are great, okay? This is a personal favorite of mine. Just taking the boys out for a walk. Which, maybe they like it a little too much. Okay, so we already went through the fact that he called her place of work. He called her employees talking about her quote-unquote inappropriate behavior online, aka messing with my money. All right, how about this? Boondock responds on his page. Says, you called my employer, which I have no clue how you know, with the intent of getting me in trouble over a video you don't like online. Sorry, Mr. Actual, that makes you ding, 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 a bitch. Sorry, bro. Actually, wait, no, we have a new Ben take for this.
This is a retarded take.
Thank you, Ben. Over a video you don't like online. Even if you didn't make disingenuous claims, there's lots of misinformation circulating around your videos, and dangerous misinformation. And you have a duty to correct that when it's things that can get people seriously hurt. It's the internet. People will make comments over what you publicly post. Very true. Very, very true. Now, Mr. Actual, if you want to call my employer, you can. Doesn't really exist, but I'm sure you can find a 1-800 number out there somewhere. Good luck with that. And 110 Sass continues to just throw L's at himself, right? To just take his grubby little paws are trying to hold as many L's as possible, right? He's shuffling around the cornfield. L's are falling out left and right. He's just trying to hold on to everything as he's on his way running backwards. I'm sorry you feel this way. You had no problem telling folks at SHOT you worked for a direct competitor of my ammo sponsor. Ammo sponsor, you say? Also, to be clear...
Why is that a problem?
I don't think that her telling somebody that she works for a company is a problem. And that's your claim that they're a direct competitor. I'm going to keep it real with you. Boondock's company probably... you're nothing to them. Like, sorry, no offense, Badlands, but you're nothing. You're nothing to them. Like, go away. And then you make this hateful video. Couldn't believe it myself, to be honest. Couldn't believe it myself. I had to call your employer because of this hateful video. Dude, wait till you get a load of me. All right, you think Boondock was hateful? Just wait. All right. Couldn't believe it myself, to be honest. I'm sorry you feel this way. If you change your mind, please feel free to reach out. Would love to work together. No, you lying. It's like sometimes I wish we were Rumble exclusive so we could just say the funny little words that make us all go ha ha hee hee like it was Modern Warfare 2, okay? If you change your mind, please feel free to reach out. Would love to work together. You scummy, disingenuous little rat.
No,
All
but he put a
right.
heart at the end of his message, which means he was being
Yeah.
nice and
Listen.
sincere, and you shouldn't be rude
Listen.
to him.
Okay. Physiognomy never loses. Okay. Never loses. You look like a rat. You act like a rat. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. It is absolutely disgusting. And then Boondock responds. Okay, everything's screenshotted. Okay, just in case something gets deleted, I just screenshot. You know, I never went around telling people where I work. I try to keep work and YouTube separate. I don't think she's ever mentioned where she works on YouTube at any point in time. People see me at the booth. That's on them because, of course, you're at SHOT Show. Your employer's there. You go. You're hanging around. That's what you do. Where I work has nothing to do with this video or your sponsor, and I'm sorry you feel it's appropriate to hunt someone's employer down and make a call to get them in trouble because your feelings got hurt. This is the problem. All right. If you, as a man, at any point in time, get offended by a reasonable video that a 5'2", 110-pound lady puts out about you, you got problems, right? You got big problems, all right? And it's not with Boondock. It's with you, Doc.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Trench.
Have I ever been angry enough to call somebody's place of employment? Like, even that, you know, if I was so angry with somebody, I would want to see them, right? I would want to make it personal with them, right? When I get angry, I want to, like, you know, I'm going to go talk to you and you're not going to be able to weasel out of this anymore. I'm not going to call your employer.
I'm going to go talk to your boss.
Where's your manager at? This is peak Karen. What's the Karen? We need a Karen slur, but for gun tubers. I need a Karen slur, but for gun tubers.
Gay. No.
There's other ones that I would love.
Goobers.
Goobers? That's not hard enough. It's not hard enough. My apologies. My apologies.
It has to have like an R at the end of it, you know?
Yeah, hard R. All right. Oh my gosh. We'll think of something. TrueTuber, Trigger. No, it's got to be asshole. It's got to be something. Single action Steve. Carcon.
Somebody in chat will come up with a good one.
Somebody will think of it. Anyways, and I'm sorry you feel it's appropriate to hunt down somebody's employer and make a call to get them in trouble because your feelings got hurt. What kind of cancel culture woke ass response is that? Like, imagine being so offended that you track down somebody's employer, you lie, right, to try and get more information on Jessie by pretending to be calling about her mom, which is just creepy and gay in and of itself.
It's weaselly.
Right? It's so weaselly. It's so rat.
You don't even
behavior.
have the balls to like say what you actually mean. You're gonna hide behind somebody's mom to try to get their last name so you could dox them online. Fuck
and then
you.
you're like, oh well, actually, are you aware of what Miss Jessie posted online? It made me very upset. I found it very unprofessional. You should do something about that. Jester goons. Jester goon. But I want it to be specific to gun tubers, right? I need it to bite for gun tubers, not just some normie term. Anyways, he also messaged her beforehand, right? And keep in mind that this is like after calling or before calling. So like all of this is just a lie. Unfortunately, seeing your video this weekend labeled me as a blatant liar because your numbers were incorrect. It saddens me and is unfortunate you feel this way as I've been a fan of your videos and your great knowledge. And again, it's just as soon as you know anything else, you're just a liar. You're lying right now in this very sentence. All right. You're disingenuous. Man, I really wish you had reached.
Bullshit.
Yeah, I really wished you had reached out to me for clarification on any matter you had questions about prior to labeling me a blatant liar. If I made a mistake, would have loved to have collaborated. Sure, buddy. Sure, dude. I'm going to keep it real. If you're a female in the space, maybe that's not a wise move in the first place. I don't know, dude. Would have loved to have collaborated and worked together to correct any misinformation I might have said. I started my journey. Okay, listen. If you start my journey posting as a man,
you take it up the rear.
You gonna start talking about his North Star next?
My journey, my North Star in all of this, my chocolate starfish, my Fred Durst. I started my journey here in content creation to make cool friends with interests you and I share. See, I do love this admission though. Inadvertently, I make YouTube content to make friends, not to be truthful, put out useful information, honesty. No, you want to
No,
make
it's all clout.
friends. You want to
wanna
make friends
know-
with people in the industry.
Yeah, you want to know the big dogs. You want to get stuff for free, and you want to make friends with popular people. Yeah, that's a really noble cause you have.
Yeah, you might as well say he's speaking his truth here. That's about how gay coded this is. But yeah, no, I mean, honestly, thank you for the admission. Yeah, your content is slop. You're not interested in truth, in usable information, in anything that could be useful to a real human being. It's just slop entertainment, which is fine. There's plenty of slop tubers out there. Okay, it's fine. Whatever. I would ask you kindly, I would ask kindly you remove the video and apologize, labeling me a blatant liar, but I understand if you're not willing to. Keep in mind, this is either right before or right after calling her employer, right? So he's digging the nail in there, digging the knife a little bit. I would ask kindly that you remove the video and apologize.
Say sorry. Say sorry.
You know what?
Yeah.
Can I call him a blatant liar and then let him call my employer?
No, do not. He can't find my number. Don't do it. Don't do it. I don't want to know. Anyways, moving on. Anyway, so now let's get into what I consider to be one of the biggest conflicts of interest, contradictions, issues with the GunTube space as a whole. And that's your proclivity or your proximity to Badlands munitions, shall we? Sloperator, that's good. Johnny Sloperator over here. After calling your employer, I would really like it if you would take your video down and apologize. You wouldn't like me to make a few more phone calls, would you? Like, if it wasn't so schwarmy and just, I hate this attitude so much.
Really nasty video. And in the video, my words are completely misconstrued. They left out key and vital information to straight up lies and getting the projo that we use, the grain of it, completely wrong. And that's odd because I have a tremendous amount of respect for this person. They make great content and they're super knowledgeable.
Not what you told their employer, though, when you called, huh?
But there seems to be a serious level of disconnect and just misunderstanding here. So I'd like to give you the opportunity to maybe see what's going on, where this disconnect is at.
Oh, sorry. Let me pull up.
I drive
this
a Ford
real fast.
Bronco Raptor, and I've never taken it off road, and I'm gay.
Okay. Yeah, don't
That's
leave out
implied.
that part. Very important. Very important. Anyway, so this is Boondock's response to that text message that was sent by 110 Sass. Hey, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, hey, you don't get to say you wish me the best after calling my workplace with the clear intent of getting me in trouble or fired, right? I mean, there is no real distinction here. What would be the end goal, right? If I'm going to call somebody's employer because I'm upset at their actions, it would be to get them fired, removed from their position, like to get her to stop, to make her scared, right, for her job so that she takes the video down, right? It's intimidation.
There's no good reason to call.
Yeah. It's intimidation or firing. Those are the goals, right? Those are the only two possible goals. Yeah, you don't get to say you wish me the best after calling my workplace with the clear intent of getting me in trouble. I should have reached out to you first about the video. Cool. You could have reached here first, but instead you take the route of calling here, asking to speak with me about my mom, just to try and get me on the line. And then you talk with my employer. I don't even know. I don't even know how you know where I work. I've never stated that publicly. A handful of people saw me working my booth, a handful. So you dug around, I guess, but in what world is that appropriate? It is inappropriate in all worlds, actually. All worlds to attempt to intimidate somebody for a video that they made about you. Because again, You are a bitch. Thank you, AppTech USA over there on Ko-Fi. Yeah, no, Charlie Cox. This he's a piece of work. And again, I haven't even gotten to my personal interactions with him yet. There's still more. There's still more. It keeps going, okay? It's going to be an hour of the show. It's fine. It's fine. All right, but let's move on, shall we? To perhaps the most problematic. And the reason why I think this is problematic is because, intimidation, threats of firing, all of that's really bad. That should be don't ever talk to me again type category. I'm not interested in working with you. You're a snake. I don't care who you're friends with. I don't care whose company's dicks you've filleted. I don't care. Go away. I never want to talk to you ever again because I can't trust anything you say forever, basically, right? But what about doxing people? What about doxing purchasers of Badlands munitions when they call out your advertised claims versus what they actually receive? So now me, of course, doing the thing that you're supposed to do, I just crossed out everybody's name, right? Because, I don't know what's public, what's not. I'm just going to cross. I don't even want to say Mr. Actual's name, right? Because I don't want to be called like, oh, you're doxing the guy and blah, 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 whatever. You just cross out everything and everybody. It's easy, right? Do not forget, Mr. has doxed every single person who has talked about the NAS3 on MT6 and has gone through Badlands shop records to see if that account has purchased ammo from them. And you're like, what? That can't be real. Now, anytime you see this little symbol up here, that is Mr. Actual's PFP, right? That's him. So here he is promoting this ammunition. This is their 175 grain Sierra Match King loaded in their NAS3 casings. And, you just follow on down the train here. You have to take it up with Garmin because they don't lie, talking about the numbers. Crazy. And then people are arguing with them. Hey, it must have been the chrono that reads other ammo normally. That's at fault. Crazy. When did you chrono, this 308 ammo? Didn't say I did. Blah, blah. It keeps going down. Blah, 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 blah. And then he makes this little admission right here. Now, you haven't seen this. Right, Dink?
I have not, no.
Could you read that out for me?
Oh, what ammo did you order? Because I can't find your order in the system. Implying he has access to the system.
Implying you have access to the Badlands munitions order system?
I thought they were just your sponsor.
And you remember that you claimed that you didn't work for them. Now, listen, all right. I have a company. I have lots of people's information. It is never appropriate for me to use that information in any other way in which I'm authorized to, right? Which is essentially just shipping. Looking up people's personal information because you have access to it, if he works for Badlands Munitions, he's a liar, right? And he's lying about it and has access to all of your customer data. If he does not work for Badlands and they are allowing him access to people's private information, you could probably sue Badlands for mishandling your... Yeah, you could probably sue Badlands for them mishandling your private information that they have a responsibility to keep private. If they're giving you out private customer data to random YouTuber that's affiliated with you, that's really strange, Mr. Actual. That's really weird. And also, if you're starting a fight on Facebook, like this was like 6 months ago almost, and you're like, oh yeah, what's your order number? I'm going to look up. I'm going to find I want your real name. I want your address. I want what you buy. I want all of it right now, okay? Give it to me. If you do work for the company, scummy, wrong, you're a liar. If you don't work for the company, still scummy, still wrong, big problems for Mr. Badlands. Maybe, I'm not saying to do this, of course, but maybe somebody should put a phone call into your employer. I wonder if they're aware of your online behavior.
Can I
Mr. Actual.
Can I call for comment?
I would never do that. But I'm just saying, one good turn deserves another.
What goes around comes around or something.
Yeah. So yeah, it just seems to me, and again, he just goes on, it's like, What Emma did you order? Because I can't find it in the system. Guess you working for them explains all the posts about it. I didn't realize because, again, he continues to lie and say that he does not work for them. They're just a sponsor. Even today, right? They're just a sponsor. They're just a sponsor, bro. Don't worry about it.
They just have the best product ever, and you should never criticize it.
Now, there are a few people right at the end here. I have to get to this, okay? Because there were a couple people just cuck posting unironically to his Instagram. I saw this and I was like, real? This is a 110 Sass fan. This is a Mr. Actual fan saying, blatant liar, I would trust at 110 Sass Actual to borrow my truck, take my wife to get groceries, watch my kids, and make the hostage shot at 1,000 yards.
Huh.
Well, he's not Grand Thumb, so he's not going to give the wife a zucchini.
What incarnation?
I think he's
Pardon
trying
my
to say that.
French.
I
What
think he's trying to say-
incarnation would make you say that you would trust a random man on the internet to take your wife to get grocery and watch your kids?
He makes gun videos I like. Here's
I
my
know
wife
what it
and
is.
kids.
Guys, I know
Like,
what it is. He sees the same
literal-
thing we do. He thinks 110 Sass is actually gay. That's why he trusts his wife.
This is like unironic cuck posting, and he doesn't get it. He doesn't get that this is like an unironic cuck post.
That's insane to post publicly.
Sean, show this to his wife. I should. I'd be like, did you know your husband said this about some random scumbag on the internet? Dead did.
Your husband said this about a guy
dude, I need
on
to
the
go to
internet
his...
who calls a female's boss to try to get her in trouble because she made a video about him.
I gotta go to his post now. It's gone. Yes. Oh, no way, dude. No way. He deleted it. No. Are you kidding me? No. It's gone. It's gone. That's so funny. That's why you screenshot, baby. That's why you screenshot it. It was live before the stream, and now, unless I'm looking at the wrong page. Is this the wrong page? Oh no, wait, no, this might be the wrong page. I might have gloated too early. Okay, maybe it's still here. Oh, it is still here.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Perfect. That would have been so funny though if he had deleted it during the stream. Anyways, spilled my popcorn. Debate. Yeah, of course he's not going to do it. I don't like Boondock at all, but quite frankly, you're gay. Very true. Brass Facts starts to get his girl in check. All right, good luck. Never heard of her. True. He's such a slimy dude. Hopefully we can clear this up and maybe work together in the future. Heart emoji. It's real, dude. Here it is. Trot Lip 20. I would trust 110 Sass Actual to borrow my truck, take my wife to get groceries, watch my kids, and make the hostage shot at 1,000 yards. Yeah, little glaze on there, right? It's a little thick right now, bro. Fit and Fire. I withhold my comment.
On the glaze.
Yeah. Too bad it's still there, dude. We'll see how long it's there, okay? But either way, screenshotted, saved on my hard drive. Can't get rid of it. Sorry, bro. And Charlie moderate. That's true, dude. Oh, man, the last time Charlie was on to talk to somebody, it went so well. Trot Lip his trench grenade. No. Come on. Boondock won this rap battle. True. Basecamp says 110 Sass just blocked me. I made fun of him using an emoji. Sorry you feel that way. All right, guys. All right. It's time for story time with John about Mr. 110 Sass Actual. Because I've had my little red flags. My little spider sense has been tingling for a while on Mr. 110 Sass.
Or pull up the photo, little pride flags.
Little pride flags, true. Yes, there's something very sus about this man, and I can't put my finger on it. Okay, or I can in this case.
I don't know where he's put his finger.
I can grasp it firmly, some would say. But we had a conversation a long time ago because he made a video perhaps the only good video that he's ever made, going through some of the problems that he had with, I think it was like the T-Sauce Raider or something like that, which is like a cheap 2011. He, of course, shoots more Gucci stuff because he's buddies with all the guys in the industry. But he made a video on like the T-Sauce Raider a long, long time ago. And it got some pushback from the manufacturer. And so he messages me being like, hey, haha, buddy, you do drama stuff, don't you? I need you to go after T-Sauce for me. And I'm like, what? And he goes through the whole deal about how the gun had problems. And he was essentially saying, like, listen, I can't say anything publicly bad about them. Right? But you do that, don't you, John? Like, you tell the truth, don't you, John? So, like, could you do that for me? And the whole time I was like, what? What are you talking about? Like, how could you not just do that yourself and tell your audience the truth? Because they were doing some scummy things. And I'm like, yeah, so you tell the truth and you tell your audience what's going on. Duh, right? And he wouldn't do it because he would, something to the effect of like make waves or make people upset, right? And so he had to use me as a weapon to go after somebody else because he was too bitch made again to just do it himself. And so when somebody's like afraid to speak the truth against T-Sauce, like who cares about T-Sauce, right? If you can't call out T-Sauce of all people, who are you going to call out? It's like, oh no, big T-Sauce is going to come for me, dog. Really? Really? So yeah, if I can't expect you to be truthful about a tiny little T-Sauce nobody nothing burger, how could I possibly expect you to be honest about any company with real influence? So from that moment on, this was a long time ago, I was like, yeah, I don't know about this guy. Because I'll be real, I don't watch his content, if you could call it that, his slop tent. All right. So yeah, from our first interaction, I was like, guy's sus. Something's off here. And everything that happened in the last 2 days just confirms that. Which is why, again, when Boondock made that video on Friday, I think it was so refreshing because it's like, perfect. Somebody else gets it, because I don't know anything about PSI and, you know, weights and velocities. It's all math stuff. I don't concern myself with that silly stuff, right? You can stick 55,000 of these things in a 5.56 case. Sure, buddy. You probably believe in the moon landing too. But yeah, that's somebody else's deal. But I was so glad to see somebody else calling him out with facts and logic, you know? Facts don't care about your feelings or something like that. But no, it's right. It's, if you're known as somebody who says bad things about product, you don't get free product anymore. And if I don't get free product, maybe those companies won't like me anymore. Maybe Trey, after I defend him for his meth-induced attack on a woman and his daughter, maybe they won't send me any more free stuff. Maybe I won't get any more cool rifles anymore. I can't sacrifice that. Honor? What's that? I'd rather have a rifle. I can't shoot honor. I can shoot a 110 though.
Money, not the people.
Civilly taxes. I would not want to fight the new T-Sauce CEO. T-Sauce USA, right, is Kaya. Very funny that this is previous to Kaya. So no shade to Kaya. This was 6 months, a year before he came on the scene, right? But anyways, just gay stuff that happened in the past that confirms gay stuff happening in the present. All right. Now, let's go ahead and get to your guys' comments on all of this, because I'm sure you guys were kind. I'm sure you guys were not unhinged in your responses to this man.
One question before we get into it all.
Always kind.
Does anybody remember who set up the celebrity YouTube boxing match between Brandon Herrera and what was his name?
Was it iDubbbz?
Was it iDubbbz?
Wasn't it, or was it?
No,
was it the other guy?
It was supposed to be. I thought it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be somebody and somebody else back. I'm not sure. Either way, I think I have the next YouTube boxing match figured out.
Yeah. No, I don't think so. Anyways, if you don't hit the like button right now, I'm gonna call your employer. Okay, and I'll do it in like a really passive aggressive way.
And he'll use the voice changer too.
Yeah, actually, I'll pull up in my certified mommy voice here.
To convince her employer to give me all of her information. It's like, you wouldn't tell mommy no, would you? Ooh.
I hope that was hard to listen to. It was hard to say, so I hope it was hard to listen to.
It was awful.
Just some Space Cowboy for 5 says, Logan, you might want to sit this one out. These super chats are going to be almost as mean to you as they will be to 110 Sass.
Oh, well, I did receive a restraining order for Logan today.
Oh, please.
Here, I send it to you right now. Yeah, I think you'll like this.
All right. Lightsport for 2 says, why won't YouTube let me post his IP address? Don't do that, bro. We don't condone doxing here. All right. Officially. Amrite Boy for 2 says, Leighton gayer than a convertible Lincoln in Dallas. Grassy Knoll, baby. Grassy Knoll. You wouldn't get it. Ronnie Z for $20. Let's see. Which one should we do for this? All right. This is perfect.
Do we
actually.
look financially responsible to y'all? Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Says, if we live for the Lord, and if we die for the Lord. So whether we live or die, we belong to the Lord. That's right. Thank you. Romans 14:8. Thank you, Ronnie. Hope you're having a great night tonight. Media Source for 5 says, Monica, be late. How am I supposed to ego lift to gym noises? I'm sorry, dude. But you should always ego lift. That's the only purpose to lifting is ego lifting. Cody Fisher for $20. Shoot, I know. Well, we'll give Jake the Jake special.
You don't get to ask those questions. What's wrong with you, Mom? Why are you so scared?
That's not the Jake special. Where are the feet?
Cody Fisher, Christ is King. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Hope you're having a good night. Media Source, member for 4 months, says, imagine unironically believing a woman. Well, that's the thing, guys. All right. We are swapping one villain for another because we're about to get into other internet drama. It's very important, integral Ben Steger related drama that I self-inserted into. Okay. Perfect. Thank you to Media Source. Appreciate that. Everyday American for 2 says, what's up, Keemstar of GunTube? Not much, dude. Life ain't easy being this short, okay? Thank you, Everyday American. Lost Arrow for 5 says, I'm so excited. I bet you were. Thank you very much, Arrow. Slimy Chud for 2 says, where's Boondock? Boondock would not debase herself to be on this show. I mean, come on. What are you guys expecting here? Thank you, Slimy Chud. Actually, I turned down her hourly rate. Absolutely insane. Doomerjohn for 2 says, what's your favorite kind of juice? Apple juice.
Apple.
Thank you, Doomer. Chud for 2 says, thirsting for Richard is greater than thirsting for Boondock. That does make you gay, though. Thank you, Chud. I do have a Logan restraining order that I can show you guys because Logan has been infected with the mind virus of Uma posting, and Uma are anime horses, apparently. Whatever. Oh, shoot. John is in FedCam. Thank you to Media Source. Appreciate that. Lightsport, member for 5 months, says, someone get M110 Sass a 40-pound box of grape. 40-pound box of rape. 40-pound box of rape. Or would it be better in the voice? Nah, I can do it. Thank you, Lightsport. Appreciate it. Nate Teller for 5 says, 110 Sass Actual has the grace of a swan, the wisdom of an owl, and the eyes of an eagle. Ladies and gentlemen, this man is for the birds. True. Hey, Charlie, have a good night, man. Appreciate you hanging out, dude. Brindle for 5 says, it's a friggin' literal combat ship, not a catamaran. Literal? Not a catamaran. Fancy word for low tide, shallow waters, capable combat vessel. J. Ustanov lasers. See, that's what we call a nerd right there. That is nerd speak.
That literal was
actually, the
catamaran.
Iranian Soleimani class ship is actually a literal combat ship.
Guys, that's wrong.
We appreciate it. We appreciate it, though. Todd Dogs for 2 says, Dank gained weight. Preggers, color of kid? Black. Blacker than the eclipse. Blacker than Richard. Thank you, Todd Dogs. Brindle for 5.
Go to the gym, guys.
Ooh. Super chats on mobile suck harder than the trench thumb prawn. Listen, man, I'm not watching that trench grenade stuff. Not my thing. I will watch other people cover their stuff, but I will not personally partake, because I feel like that is not exactly worth my time. Now, actually, speaking of that, there's a really good meme somewhere in here about them together. But oh, here it is. I found it. There it is. Perfect. This will be a great background for a moment. Thank you, Brindle. Appreciate it, sir. Doomer John for 5 says 110 SAS, 110 countries, lies and promises from long ago. It's all coming together now. Thank you, Doomer John. Tambo for 5 says 110 SAS sounds like a megachurch pastor. And once you put everything in context, his message is not only like lying and disingenuous, but vaguely threatening. Thank you, Tombo. Appreciate that. Hope you're having a good night. Sheepherder for 5 says, gonna need to see the side profile of 110 to confirm, but the behavior is highly Hebraic. And I am forced to simp for a Foyd online now. Unforgivable. That's true, you know? It's like, listen, we're all misogynists in here, okay? We're all agreeing there, okay? But it's... You just got to follow the truth, okay? Which is why we're misogynistic in the first place, okay?
When
the truth is on Boondock's side. She's right, she's right. Thank you, Sheepherder. Everyday American for 5 says, same guy who got all butthurt when people were clowning on Trey Knight for going sicko mode on Ring Cam, by the way. Some people go through tough times, guys. Yes, when Trey Knight was taking a hatchet to the wall of a single mother and her daughter inside the house, terrified, running around their house at like 3 o'clock in the morning, screaming, doing the other things. Yeah, don't go to bat for that guy. That guy's not the guy you want to go to bat for. Thank you, Everyday American. Also, yeah. Also, that's like his 5th DUI. Okay, this isn't like a oopsie daisy. Sorry, it's a that thing that always happened again.
He might have a problem.
Yeah. Paulie B for 5 says, is this guy aware he's a MiG-15? Self-awareness not in the chat. Sabardic Psycho for 2 says, this guy is a real jerk. Thank you. Does 110 SAS own a doghouse? Yes or no? I don't know. I don't know about that. I like dogs. I'm sure everybody likes dogs. Tomedia Source for 2 says, okay, I got to go. We'll watch the VOD later. Have a good night, sir. Appreciate you hanging out and the support, of course. Lost Arrow for 2 says, we are eating good this week in terms of drama. Some weeks, years happen in. Just some Space Cowboy for 5 says, speaking of Logan, you know you did. Richard, that thing I made. Uh-oh. See, anytime somebody asks to change Richard's PFP now, I'm just like, it could be one of a dozen monstrosities. Thank you, Space Cowboy.
He sent me the restraining order.
Oh, it was just a restraint. You should just put that as your PFP. Everyday American for 5 says, drama merchant is me. Look, Mom, I made it in the meme. That's right. Thank you, Everyday American. Everyday American for 2 says, very boomer coded. Thank you, Everyday American. Chud for 2 says, imagine being word mogged by a Foyd. Some people couldn't even imagine, dude. Yeah. It's tragic. It happens, though. Thank you, Chud. Strategy Branch for 10 says, Dank, I want to show up to a scene with you wearing that fit. All right. In context, vaguely threatening. No, just kidding.
Whoa.
Thank you, Strategy Branch. Hope you're having a good night. Polly's for 2 says, my test is dropping just listening to his voice. Yeah, he does have that schmarmy, like, listen, I would love to give you the opportunity to change your way of thinking. Thank you, Polly. Central Sans Defense for 2 says, the Projo, buddy, just say projectile, not hard. You don't know that, Ben. It could be really hard for him. All right? We don't discriminate against the disabled. All right? Thank you, Ben. Chud for 2 says, John, WTF, did you post on IG 3 hours ago? What do you mean, what did I post? I did what I had to do, okay? Many things were posted to many places, and I'm more of a victim of my own actions than you are. I mean, come on, let's be real here. Was it this one? This one bugged you? Thank you, Chud. Bear Skull for 5 says, using emoji and his fake HR tone in his apology is almost as gay as chopping up Garands and USGA 1911s for hype videos. Yeah, people also were very pissed at him for destroying, like, expensive surplus stuff. Again, not my genre of thing, you know. Thank you, Bear Skull. Appreciate it. You know, I've been known to engage in some rage bait here and there. Lost Arrow for 2 says, is 110 SAS Actual the Scotty K of GunTube? Basically, yeah, Scotty K of GunTube. Thank you, Arrow. Basecamp for 5 says, 110 SAS just blocked me. I made fun of him using an emoji. Sorry you feel that way. Yeah, it's as if that isn't exactly what he sounds like. Thank you, Basecamp. Chud for 2 says, I've heard enough. Show 110 Sass incredibly gassy vid. No. I hope that doesn't exist, Chud, and I hope I don't have to see that ever. Amorai Boy for 2 says 110 Sass is so scared of the paper American Kaya. Well, again, this is like 6 months before Kaya even came into the picture, so it's just some random Turkish dude. Chips Dubbo for 10 says 110 Sass, 110 Ass Actual, Agarthan passport revoked. True. 110 Sass Instagram located in Tel Aviv. Yeah, he's currently dancing in a bomb shelter right now. Thank you for that. Thank you, Chips. Tambo for 5 says, can we send all Uma posters to work at the glue factory? I think they would like it, you know. They would love to be in the chamber when the horse gets turned into glue, right? They want to be there during the transition process. Thank you, Tombo. Chips Dubbo.
What?
They're doing things to those horses. Chips Dubbo for another 5 says, Trent Thumb surviving the fight has never been in a fight. Yeah, I did watch M26 Lemon Grenade's breakdown of all of that stuff, and it is very ironic that 2 people talking about surviving the fight have as much fight experience as any individual on this panel currently. I mean, Richards ran into a burning building. That's more heroic than some other things people have done. Jim Eagle for 5 says planes and boats are gay AF. Stop sipping for vehicle cucks. Oh, you need the government to give you $1 billion machine to fight? Gay. Infantry only. That's right. What's that sound up above? Thank you, Jim. Civilian Tactical for 2 says, you are now indirectly sponsored by SDI. Good to go. Night. Well, have a good night, Civilian Tactical. I'll take your blood money. I'll put it to good use, though. I'll wash it. 12th Monkey.
Did you see he loaded a lead 22 projectile in a 5.56 and fired it? Civilian Tactical.
I'm going to keep it real with you, dog. I don't watch Civilian Tactical.
Someone sent me the video. He fired a lead 22 out of a 223, basically just ripped the projectile out and stuffed it in the case. And he was complaining about a big puff of smoke, and it turned out it was just, atomized lead.
JG says Garantham is a combat veteran of multiple divorces. Show some respect. Let's see his report history. Yeah, thank you, 12th Monkey. I'm sure there's a lot on there. Strategy Branch for 5 says, don't let me sell my CAC blasters. GoFundMe. Hey, we don't dox here, even though it's on his public Facebook. But listen, I get it. Funny, very funny, Strategy Branch. Very funny. Gonna get me in trouble. Joshua Howard for 3 says, Brandon is pretty much a 1980s liberal. Yeah, which is literally Hitler. That's actually Mecha Hitler, if you ask a current liberal. Lena Mitchell's North Starfish for 3 says, this is the gayest thing I've ever seen, and I pay for Brass and Hops subscribe star. Are you sure about that? You sure it's the gayest thing you've ever seen? AppTac USA says, 110 is a sassy fago. Early life check on that rat. P.S. Buy my stuff. Yes, that's right. You can go to apptacusa.com. Can I spell? That's really the most difficult test of the night, is can John spell? And if I can spell, that means you could go pick up slings and other things from AppTac USA, even though it's not formatted right on this website. Hello? I can't even see your logo, bro. Anyways, apptacusa.com. And you could go and get slings and other cool stuff from a cool person and not even be gay. Paulie B for 10 says, a shame about Badlands, Factory, and Bubba's Pissin' Hot, NS3 loads, or NAS3 loads. I wanted to want it, but it's fake, and its stands are gay, and thus Ashkenazi coded. Oh well, there's always hand loading and drinking while watching NASCAR, aka the old ways. Yeah, I mean, you're going to have more fun drinking and watching NASCAR anyways, dude. You don't need some other, sissy liberal to load your ammunition. You got to do it yourself. Be a man.
Guess what, guys? The cool new thing is never cool.
Now, here's the real Jake clip, because random, anonymous Ko-Fi supporter says 110 Sass's mom should have swallowed.
Don't get to hide those piggies. What's wrong with you, Jake? Why are you so scared?
Wow. And then Ice Medic became a Ko-Fi caffeine creep. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for that. All right, well, let's talk about Ben Steger, shall we? Because that's fun. Thank you everybody for the support. We're gonna keep this show rolling because we're gonna be here all night. Yeah, you keep saying you hate it, but you're always here for it. You're always here for it, dude. Deskpop for 5 says, I know 110 Sass is watching this. I just want him to know that he's a grown baby. Yeah. Thank you, Deskpop. I appreciate that. Thank you for the 5. And I'll send my regards. Read Steger's comment. Which one? Which comment? There's a bunch of them, dude. There's a bunch. Okay, so there's always a bit of drama going on in the influencer, gun-tuber, politosphere. There's like a weird hybridization there, which of course I'm part of course, because I do politics on the side and gun-tube and, you know, other things. So I'm involved in this niche menagerie of disgusting individuals, right? Unfortunately. Just by proxy. Anyways, there is a I can't say famous, but there is a female-centric firearms trainer, which anytime you get a female-centric firearms trainer or somebody that only trains females, it's a recipe for disaster. It's a recipe for getting ripped off. These people are almost always insanely low skill and very, very like low tier, right? They prey upon women who don't know a lot. They prey upon people without any skills, without knowing any better, right?
The most dangerous class you could ask for.
Yeah, so this is Kyle Seraphin, and Kyle Seraphim goes back and forth with all these other retards. So there's like back and forth drama that I'm not a part of. I don't care about any of that. The history there, that's just stuff happens. But anyways, Carrie Sloan of Stilettos and Shotguns, which is, man, so classy. I had to block Ben Sager. Between this and the videos that were posted from his ex-girlfriend showing alleged abuse, no real loss. This comment doesn't help any defense he would have against the accusation either. And this comment from Ben is so mild. Preachy Karens are nearly as annoying as Fuds.
That's just true.
It's so mild, right? So we got women taking W's in the first half with Boondock, and then we got a whole bunch of women taking L's in the second half, okay? Because they couldn't leave well enough alone. Yes, this is the woman that we're talking about. The real SNS has now blocked you. It's probably part of her book, The Right to Resist. You can see her form over here on the side. Now, this is a comment that's been used against Ben. Big tits don't count if you're fat. Thank you for your attention to this matter, because again, Ben's just a little funny, okay? However, this tweet was not in relation to any of these women. This was made back in like February. Just Ben throwing something out into the ether. But it's funny that these women took it as a personal affront to them. Right? So as if he was calling them that.
Specifically.
Yeah. It's like if Dank was like, dude, I hate fat people. And I was like, excuse me? You know, I was like, wait, you didn't say anything. I just happened to be here.
You're just admitting that you think you're fat.
Yeah. Anyways, Ben goes on. That's a pretty extreme reaction to a mild comment. You can look at her shooting form, and she's fat. Yeah. Anyways, but it keeps going. Oh, sorry. Shoot. I got jump scared by this by going over to the next frame. My apologies. I got to get the memes out of the way to get back. Anyways, so then Ben Sager responds, says, holy crap, since Carrie Sloan has blocked me, I will just post. I never called her fat or commented on her body. I wasn't at a SHOT Show party with her this year. I attended 0 parties at SHOT. We never had the encounter she is talking about. She's just straight up lying. So Carrie Sloan and this BX lady, who are both psychos, both insane, just in different ways, all right? They just start making up stuff that never happened, which, you know, many such cases.
Women.
And Stager talking about me being fat just shows what a child he is, especially because I'm not. All right. Sure, lady. Of course, that's where they go when they have nothing else to say. Misogynist assholes defend misogynist assholes. Both of these men exist in the real world and would never have the balls to say it to our faces. Oh, wouldn't you be surprised? Wouldn't you be surprised, ma'am? Oh, that's a fact. I've been at the same parties with Ben at SHOT Show this year. Again, total fabrication. Never happened, didn't exist, didn't happen. just women lying on the internet. Color me shocked. And he didn't say an effing thing after I called him out for that video that his ex posted of him being abusive to her. And everybody clapped. I was about to say that, yeah. And everybody clapped. Everybody clapped. Too bad it
I'm gonna trust
didn't
the guy
happen.
who invented logic.
Logic,
okay?
yes. Yeah, too bad. Now I saw all this taking place, and of course, me being me, I was like, you know what? Time to stir things up just a little bit more, just to be fun. Okay, I got to get in here a little bit. So this also started off with this one right here. So this is Kyle Seraphin again saying, as DOJ fights to defend gun laws for Americans, this woman LARPs as only a California from Indian can, and again critiquing her form of how she's shooting, because yes, the stance is just a little bit off. It is very woman coded in how she's shooting. And then BX responds, I've instructed women on how to shoot firearms and defend themselves for 15 years. Nothing in this pic is wrong or bad. Dink, is anything in this picture wrong or bad?
Yeah, there's women at the range.
Right. Other than that, other than the obvious, of course.
The stance.
Just a little bit off, right? Now, here's the thing. BX, you're kind of retarded, right? You're a little spurg. So she posts this video of her shooting, says, what's wrong with my grip? Thumbs high is the correct way to shoot, right? Ben Sager responds to it. Says, too much dominant hand input. You're over returning the gun. Hard to tell from the angle, but I'm suspicious of your support hand connection as well. BX responds, STFU, shut the F up, you weirdo.
You asked.
What?
You wanted to know what was wrong, and he told you.
What?
This is a does this dress make me look fat situation, I think.
What's wrong with my grip? Ben Sager sees a post, responds to it in like the most literal fashion. Just saying, oh, here's, because it's a video of her shooting. Of course, I can't show the video on YouTube of her shooting, but it's a video of her shooting. You know, it's fine, but he just critiques her grip, right? Because she literally asked for it. He's not wrong, but it also doesn't take a world champion to see that I'm missing a large portion of my right forearm. Good shooters make it work and ignore the armchair quarterbacks who don't know them. As if you didn't ask for the post in the first place. Again, that's why I posted women taking accountability for anything challenge impossible. Ben
Guess
just
what,
simply
lady? You shouldn't be missing part of your forearm. Get good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's totally separate. But again, you asked for it. So Ben just responds, if you don't want to be armchair quarterbacked, maybe you shouldn't explicitly ask the internet for advice. Kind of weird behavior. Just women being women. BX responds, seems like the input you would have been better directed at the person I quote tweeted who incorrectly stated that the thumbs forward grip was wrong, but I guess it was the easier target for you. Really makes you think. And again, she's coping. She's seething now. And she's getting ratioed so hard on her own post.
Spike.
Yeah, cortisol. Yeah. Career-ending cortisol spike. Ben Steger responds to your tweet asking you for a response. You were the one asking what's wrong with your grip. I didn't take any issue with your thumb position. You can feel validated in your argument against that other dude, but I was just giving you the feedback you explicitly asked for and explaining how to improve your grip. Again, BX responds, are you really thought... Sorry, no, I can do it. I can do it in the voice.
Don't worry. Here we go. Are you really so autistic that you couldn't comprehend the context in which I was asking the dumb person I was quoting about thumbs forward grip, as opposed to asking for advice from you? Do you understand how X works? All that aside, I'm not saying you're wrong. I just don't like you.
Very woman-coded. Very, very woman-coded. How dare you not understand the exact context of my public tweet in which I publicly tweeted out for context and then you responded. And again, I do want to clarify my personal stance here as well. I am a misogynist, right? So if you want to use that as some sort of euphemism against me, totally valid. And I do hate most of the women in the space. All of that works. all of
Can't
that
the
was.
guy just not want women in men's spaces, like politics and any job that involves physical labor and the internet in general?
Some of the responses to my own tweet was actually really hilarious. Marrying a misogynist is so peaceful. My husband loves me but hates women. I have never once felt so jealous being this man's girl. It's true. All right, that's the way my wife feels. Not sure if she's anti-gun or pro-domestic violence. Real men use fists. You don't say, lady. You don't say. All right. All right. All right. Anyways, I think that's it. Oh wait, no, and then of course, how it ended, how it started, and where we stand now. I think this one is crazier than the other one because, of course, just from a couple very mild responses, not even really critical. Ben just gives his, professional input and blocked. He keeps going. I was just tired of seeing your dumb takes, half truths, and Kyle Seraphin glazing, and because I don't like you. Snide little comment in there. But if you really want to keep going, we can, Mr. Logic. I am a magnet for these chicks, I swear. So this is why I don't like you, by the way, which is talking about the famous Ben Sager clip that we've covered.
It's the clip.
And she keeps going too after she blocks him, by the way, right? After you block Ben, then you're like, oh, actually, this video by PSI. Where is PSI? Anybody heard from the guy lately? Anybody in the chat heard from PSI lately? Anybody see him about?
You mean Ben Shapiro?
Yeah, man. I don't know what happened to the guy. Sad what can happen to you on a random Tuesday, isn't it? Anyways, PSI, please. Unbelievable. All right. Coral Weezer, remember for 8 months, says, Foyd, go away. Spike my cortisol another day. That's good. I'll remember that. Thank you, Coral Weezer. Chips Debo for 5 says, I'm literally clapping with no hands. Thank you, Chips Debo. Everyday American for 5 says, Ben is a 9-time national champion and a world shoot champion, by the way.
Yeah,
What's that? What is that against a woman's intuition, dog? Come on.
What has Ben usually charged for a class? I know you've mentioned it before. I'm just curious
like
how much.
$650, $550, somewhere in that range.
So she owes him at least $300 for that tip.
I think the tip is actually worth a lot more. Thank you, Everyday American. Chips Debo for 5 says, Foyd. Oh, okay. Apparently this is a saying. I just don't know it. Foyd, go away. Spike my cortisol. Another day. Based. Thank you, Chips Debo. Appreciate it. And over on Ko-Fi, Director for $15 says, thank you, Richard. My girlfriend is doing a lot better now. John, mommy's voice for Wednesday's intro, please. Do I have to do a monologue in the mommy voice? It'd be funny. People hate it. People will hate it, but schizo, mommy. Okay, schizo, mommy voice.
Candace Owens posting in the mommy's voice.
Half the people hate it, viscerally hate it, and the other half like it a little too much, like a concerning amount. Baseball Kid over on Rumble for 10 says, going broke, but need full toe wrap. Bruh, for $10 you get half the toe wrap, dog.
This is a song of the summer shit. You know it's funny. Walk on stage with no shoes on. All I need is feet, boy, I'm too gone. Hey, Jake money, big toe money. This is a song of the summer shit. You know it's funny. Walk on stage.
Andrew N on Ko-Fi says 110 Sass sounds almost gayer than Lindsey Graham. I live in South Carolina. I don't know why we don't primary him. It would be better if you did. I'm saying for all of us, you could do us a favor and get rid of him, okay? All right. He's one of the few that's still hanging out. All right, gentlemen. Well, that's all. I'm all out of drama, okay? I had 2 things to do today. It's rage bait and drama post. And we're all out of drama. And that means we're back to rage bait. All right. Actually, not really rage bait. Some of it's funnier than not. Wild. Wild. What do you mean wild, Jake? It's literally you, dog. Anyways, China, Lord, I see what you've done for others. And I just wish for the same thing, okay? China executes 3 convicted child sex offenders in public as an example of tolerance, of zero tolerance. Sorry.
Can we do that here?
Yeah, can we
be
just
very appreciative if we did
can
that
we just
here.
get the same? I know it's like how many pedophiles have been arrested in the US in conjunction with the Epstein stuff? 0. Literally 0. It's like I just, you know, can we get some of that I'm like Squidward in a box, you know, with a cup asking for some justice, please. Please. Please, can we get some justice? The China Supreme Yeah, China's
I'm done.
All right. China's Supreme People's Court has confirmed that 3 men convicted of sexually abusing children were executed after the nation's highest court upheld their death sentences. The cases involved individuals found guilty of extremely serious sexual crimes against minors. Then state media described the executions as part of a strict zero tolerance policy towards offenses involving children. Based. China, number 1. Social credit score up like 10,000 points.
They show 5 people in the image there. Did they only execute 3/5?
Well, I don't know if is the image actually related. Those people look pretty white. Again, it's like it's a post, okay, man? Don't take it too seriously. Yeah, this is fun. So if you guys didn't see in New York City in Mamdami's, New York City, we got, is this the first Muslim terror attack? It's been 6 weeks. We got our first Muslim terror attack in New York City.
We were born and raised in New York, and we want everyone here to stay in New York. You don't get to come from outside and then tell everyone else.
I love that so much. It's so ironic. Everybody who's here, we want them all here. That we want them all to stay here. Literal Muslim throwing a bomb above your head. As you say these words, the timing, the irony posting, it couldn't get any better. You know, if somebody was getting stabbed with a machete in the background, it would have just 10 out of 10.
Infinity brown people, guys. Infinity brown people. It's good.
Cinema, right?
They used them as a springboard.
We were born and raised in New York, and we want everyone here to stay in New York. You don't get to come from outside and then tell everyone else.
Yeah, the amazing picture. Jewish leftist marching against white supremacy almost dies by wholesome Muslim he imported. Yeah, the heckin' wholesome religion of peace strikes yet again, but fortunately, so do their IQs, because the bomb was thrown at an anti-Islam march in New York City. I believe it was in front of Mamdami's house or in front of his offices, somewhere in that region. They took the bomb, threw it in front of them. It was packed with, I think, ATP, nails and ball bearings and a bunch of other like really nasty stuff for an IED. Fortunately, though, because they're inbred retards, the fuse didn't go off. So it was very close to being a disaster, but crisis averted. It's like hyper-violent Muslims coming to your country, too retarded to make bomb go off, though. So it's like, yeah, you get the good with the bad here and there.
Use crappy hobby fuse, and it didn't work.
Now, did you see that the guy who was used as a makeshift catapult there actually went on to defend? Click on his Twitter.
Walter Masterson, this guy?
Yep.
Let's see.
He put out an update that he was basically doubled down on it. Where's the tweet? I'll have to find it.
And yes, they obviously should be charged. We watched it unfold. Dude jumped over me to throw it. Then he ran a few feet and they both just stood there. The second pick is them 30 feet away from where they threw the explosive. I kept thinking, are you trying to get caught? ? A terrorist, oh my gosh, a terrorist jumped over my shoulder to throw an explosive at a pardoned terrorist from January 6th. Yeah, that's right. Walking into a Capitol building is the same as throwing a bomb into a crowd.
Some boomer who walked around is the same as a jihadi.
Literally, there's no difference, right? If you think there's a difference between these two, this photo here, wholesome Muslim with a bomb throwing into a crowd of men and women and, maybe other people there, innocent bystanders, and grandma walking around the Capitol. If you think those two aren't the exact same level of danger, you might be a heckin' racist.
Well, yes, I am.
Yeah. Well, and again, Lang is also not our guy. I get it. I get that he's also mega cringe and gay, but he brings out the best in our Muslim brothers and sisters here, right? An IED apiece. True. Literally the same image. Corporate needs to find the difference between these two pictures. Literally the same thing.
And speaking of corporate,
there's a
corporate
tolerance
media,
bomb.
they depicted it as bomb thrown at anti-Islam protest. That's the headlines that they ran with, obviously.
Yeah.
They should have just called him a terrorist. Just do it. Just call him a terrorist. Excuse me. All right. Well, before we get into true rage bait, we got to get into something funnier, okay? Something truly hysterical. And that is black magic scientists. Mostly black, mostly magical. Possibly imagined as well. But this is from our good friend Faceless, who you should check out on X and Instagram. And I don't know if he still has a YouTube channel, but you should definitely go check him out on X and Instagram. But our good friend Faceless has been on the show a couple of times.
I could not find a YouTube for him. Oh, did John just die?
Damn.
They got him.
They got him with their black magic.
Ladies and gentlemen, they got him.
Magic.
Well, while he comes back to life, I will, I guess, read chat here for a few minutes. Don't know exactly what happened there. Gonna guess his computer just took a shit.
Obviously, Jewish space lasers and the Frankists and something about bees.
Yeah. Physically cringing.
He was so close to getting at the truth, and then
he was. He was. Yep. Yes.
Yep.
So he's
Yep.
he's gone. All right.
Computer. Oh,
He'll be back
shortly. We'll make do without him, even though I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, he just messaged me. His computer took a shit. He's coming right back. So I'll hold it down for a minute. I wish I would have saved a bunch of memes because we had some really, really banger memes lately.
Yeah, just start pulling random memes out of the Discord, throwing them up on screen.
All right. I will get him to react to the Norm clip once he comes back and finishes his rage bait segment. I don't want to play it when he's not here. I want to get his reaction to it. But I do have that pulled up, and we will get to that later. And I can't. We're not on Rumble exclusive, so I can't. Sorry, Oberg. I would. Richard meme review. Yes, hopefully, eventually, once I get everything put together. The Richard show is indeed superior. That would be my smoke detector, good sir. I am black after all. If you weren't aware, it's par for the course. That is the song of my people. In Richard we trust. Yes, definitely. When the teacher leaves the classroom. Yeah, see, the thing is I can't go too far off the rails, because if I do, then I risk getting John in trouble, and I don't want to do that. So, yeah, just stop the stream. Oh no, I highlighted a letter. What's going to happen? Richard is black. Checks out. Yes. Everybody just now catching on to the joke. He's back. Where's he back?
Almost. He'll be here.
Oh, there he is. Okay.
Hey. Oh,
did they get him again? Oh man. I love when he puts me on the spot like this.
Yo, yo, yo. I can hear
And he's back.
There we go. Let me change something real fast. I know that my microphone. Boom, 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 boom. Hello, hello. Yo, yo, yo. Are we on?
Good. Yes,
all right,
yes,
sweet.
yes.
My computer turned off. Very cool. Thanks much. But okay, so we have Plunder Stream, which I'm going to go ahead and just drop because I can drop his link in the YouTube chat and the Rumble chat. I'm pretty sure that's kosher. Nobody's going to get upset at me for that. But no, yeah, my computer died. Everything died. Had to restart the audio, and here we are. So fortunately, it saved all of my tabs though. But no, I went full black screen. Okay. Anyways, let's watch the black magic happen, shall we?
Telekinetic black people on social media. It's a whole movement. This guy I decided to highlight because he really believes, because a lot of them, you can tell that they don't really believe it. You know, they're like moving a Dorito chip, and they're like, there's some people that believe that there's some Wakandan energy deep in their.
Now, please notice how all items they are moving weigh approximately 4 ounces. Yes, wind is a very mysterious force. Just like the Bible says, who can hold the wind in his left hand? Yes, this is very similar to Hood weapon development, but this is ESP, but for the Hood. All right. Anyways,
their soul, if they just embrace their melanin, they can unlock it. This dude believes he's already unlocked it. It's there. He can move things with his mind.
That's literally just the guy behind my local 7-Eleven, right? There's no difference. Just kidding. I don't live around these
Just
people.
a bunch of trash on the ground. Oh.
Just mild. I call this move mild breeze. It took me 10 years to learn this by unlocking my melanin content.
With enough drugs, you'll think you're doing something.
Hallucinations from meth.
It's something, all right. I am gonna, while we're sitting here, actually, I'm gonna drop my link for the new server system that we are building out. We're growing with them, so to speak. Okay, but this is called Stoat. It is a Discord alternative that is not Discord at all, so it should not have any of the same issues, hopefully speaking. And I am dropping the invite link in there. The app is a little wonky. All right. You kind of got to refresh everything, post in there, and then you can see, and then we'll get you in, all that sort of fun stuff. But that link is in the YouTube chat and in the Rumble chat for all who wish to partake.
That nigga is moving that trash. I don't care what any of y'all say. That nigga is moving that trash.
Okay, even if true though, let's think about the ramifications of this new talent that these young scholars have developed, right? If I told you I could move approximately 4 ounces of mass 3 miles an hour, is that cool? Like imagine like I had the ability to give you telekinesis, but you could only accelerate 4 ounces of mass up to 3 miles an hour. Is that really relevant?
You could still get shot.
Yeah, no, you can't stop a bullet, dude. You might be able to slow it down like a couple feet per second, but that's it, dude.
I wonder if this is how
if you're really intelligent though, like think about pickpocketing, right? Think about how fine-tuned you could be, like lifting somebody's wallet out from a distance. Okay, so there are applications for this.
I was going to say
moving
that's what they would use it for.
And also drug dealing. This is how they get away from the trafficking charges, is because they're not in possession of it. It's just floating.
Maybe. I was thinking like you could use it as a delivery system, or like stealing from people's windows or something like that, right?
Yeah,
this all has to deal with theft here. It's all just theft and drugs here. In my mind, I'm like, how can I use this for nefarious purposes? Okay. I mean, what's the altruistic purpose?
That's the natural habitat.
Yeah. You could pee bend. That'd be pretty funny.
Ooh, secretly snatching women's wigs with the force.
Well, what if it's heavier than 4 ounces?
Yeah, they're too heavy.
Oh shit, you're right.
Too much weave.
Yeah, no. He even moved the phone. When he looked, did you see that? Look at that. He had so much telekinetic power when he moved the phone. When he looked away, he's got so much telekinetic power that he made the car alarm go off. And you're going to look me dead in the eye and tell me that this nigga don't got special energy? There's a lot of telekinetic black people on social media. It's a whole movement. This guy I decided to highlight because he really believes, because a lot of them.
And again, it's so little though. I moved a empty cardboard box over with the help of my handy dandy friend, the Win. Empty water bottles. Big moves, big money moves being made here. But I think it's important to have a little bit of a break in the action between some of the heavier stories, of course. Just some Space Cowboy for Two says you have to talk about the Polanar Tactical and UTG situation. Unfortunately, I can't talk about it on YouTube because they only talk about guns and they only show guns. Risky move. Good luck, Polanar Tactical. Not the move I would have made, but thank you, Space Cowboy. Maybe we'll probably put that on the Rumble exclusive stream.
Well, that's not their
Thank
first
you.
venture with UTG. They did a factory tour of UTG a while back.
Okay. Chips Dubbo for $20.
I'm kind of retarded. Liberal. Happy fun, la la la. Human smuggling, fentanyl deaths, forced government euthanasia.
For $20. Thank you, Chips Dubbo. All right, says, gentlemen, have a good evening. I'll have to catch the rest later. Have a good night, Chips. Appreciate it. Proverbs 3:5-6, which is trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to him, and he will make your paths straight. Thank you very much for the wisdom. Even if you're not a Christian, you guys should go read Proverbs. It's got a lot of good ancient wisdom in it, all right? All right. Now, thank you, Chips. King Callus for Two says, do you have the clip of Trench saying Sigger with the hard R? I'm sure I have several of them floating around. King Callus, not on hand, though. Thank you, King Callus. Appreciate it. Polly B for Two says, shut it down. They literally shut it down. It was the Jews. The Jews did this. Vandalay for Two says, Richard, say the word, you know which one. The funny one. Thank you, Vandalay.
I can't do that.
Just some Space Cowboy for 5 says, if they can be Kangs and telekinetic, then we people put a man on the moon. I'm tired of pretending we didn't. Nah, that's a psyop, man. That's a psyop, white boy, to make you think like you did something special. We all know that without the Kang engineering, we couldn't have got that done on our own, dog. That's how you know it's fake.
White
That's how you
people
know
can
it's
never go
fake.
to the white moon.
That's
Yurt.
racist when you think about it. Well, actually, what if only black people can go to the dark side of the moon? You ever think about that?
That'd be terrifying.
And then light skins can only live around the equator. Sorry, mulattoes. Kept out of Agartha and the dark side of the moon. Oh, hey, now my computer restarts and now the low cortisol UMA is working. Logan, are you happy now? If you're here right now, are you happy? We got a low cortisol UMA dancing on screen. Wait, which one is that? Is that this one? I probably need to resize it to figure it out, but it's okay. All right, well, that's enough silliness for now. Unfortunately, we have this story, which we're going to get to now, because rage bait being the topic of discussion for the evening, for the rest of the evening, it's going to be quite rage-inducing. DA addresses why previous charges were dropped against man accused of raping Czech's Notes 94-year-old. Police arrested a 22-year-old man Friday in connection with the rape of a 94-year-old woman. Man, if you say so. Man Friday, 94. Jeremiah Taylor was taken into custody after detectives released photos through Crime Stoppers on Friday morning and received tips from the public identifying his location. Taylor is being held in the East Baton Rouge Parish Jail with no bond. Moore said the evidence in the case is overwhelming. The attack occurred in broad daylight, according to investigators. That side profile is a hate crime in 4 European countries, by the way.
Tells you everything that you need to know.
Lightspore, I might actually track you down and kill you for this comment. This is a threat admissible in court. I'm going to find you. All right. Well, let's go ahead and we'll just listen to the little blurb.
So we're going to
that they have
start with
about
a
it.
tough one, very tough one. It's unspeakable, really. A 94-year-old woman raped right here in Baton Rouge. Tonight, Baton Rouge police say
They worked through the night to identify their suspect and arrest him. Our chief investigator, Chris Nakamoto, is here now with what neighbors have to say about this, who, as you can imagine, are stunned, and what may make you even more mad is the suspect's troubling criminal history. Chris.
Good evening, Greg. Jeremiah Taylor is no stranger to law enforcement. In fact, he was just released from jail in January for a slew of other charges. Tonight, neighbors on East Black Oak Drive near Park Forest and Sherwood Forest are stunned. Jeremiah, did you rape a 94-year-old woman?
No.
What was that?
No.
You didn't do that?
No.
So what is this?
I don't know, man. I don't rape no body, man.
Wearing handcuffs.
Excuse me? What? What did you say, young man? Although this is a certified manlit moment. Well, I can't even call him a mulatto because he's full black. What's a good word for a black midget? I mean, I know the one everybody's thinking of, right? But I can't say that on YouTube.
3/5 of 1/2.
3/5.
And only speaking with profanities, 22-year-old Jeremiah Taylor is accused.
I'm gonna keep it real with you, news presenter. That's how they talk.
Accused of the unthinkable. Investigators say he raped a 94-year-old woman who lived on this street in Baton Rouge in broad daylight. Neighbors are stunned and say the woman always was outside, tending to her yard, and the neighbors all looked after her.
It's just horrible, you know. Satan is busy, you know, and it is just bad. Stuff like this don't usually happen around here. And, you know, everybody looks out. That was a sweet woman.
It's sad. Shit, nothing like that be happening in the neighborhood, really. That's sad. That's sick.
The WAFBI team first reported.
I'm noticing a pattern here of some of the neighborly voices in this area. But think about this. This is somebody's grandma, somebody's great grandma, hanging around tending to her garden in her final years, attacked in her own home on her front yard by an animal. 94 years old. Like I hope
what China did to those other guys.
I hope if any of us make it to 94 years old, that we have seen the end of our traumatic events, right? The only thing left for us is death. You know, hang out with our kids, hang out with the loved ones we have remaining. But the only thing we have to look forward to is truly death, right? And being reunited with our Savior. I hope that is all of our fates if we make it to 94 years old, not brutal rape at 94 years old, right? Because you think you've basically made it to the end of the line, right? Most people are never going to see 94. That's it. And you're going to live out the last of your days. She still had mobility. She was still able to tend to her garden, tend to her yard, you know, and that's probably what she looked forward to waking up to every morning. Not this, though.
Taylor's troubled past with arrests for rape.
Right. Whoa. Okay. So this is within the span of less than 2 years. We have a criminal damage to property, simple burglary, another damage to property, unauthorized entry, first-degree rape, sexual battery, second-degree battery, Schedule 1 non-narcotic, misdemeanor sexual battery, first-degree rape, aggravated, first-degree rape, aggravated, theft, second-degree battery, theft under $1,000, possession of marijuana, second-degree rape, second-degree battery, sexual battery, first-degree rape, theft, violation of protective order.
Wait a second there.
I'm going to keep it real with you, dogs.
Sensing a pattern. I think this guy should have been dead a while ago.
There should not be anything more than one charge on this list, right? In a just society, it's like, what was the first crime that he committed all the way back in May of 2024? Burglary and damage to property, right? So you think on the high end, a couple years in jail. If you had just done that, no, you know what, 3-4 people would have not been raped. I think that's a fair trade. We get rid of this man out of society for a couple of years and 4 or 5 people don't get raped. I think that's a fair trade.
look at the dates. One of these happened on August 27th, 2024. That's a first-degree rape and theft. And then 2 days later, another first-degree rape, 2 counts of sexual battery, and 3 counts of second-degree battery. 2 days.
Well, look at the full list between 8:27 and 8:30. It's pretty insane. Stacking them up.
Burglary, unauthorized entry, all within the past 2 years. The WAFBI.
Think about being the cop that arrested this guy 3 days in a row for all of these crimes.
Team found his most recent arrest was dismissed by District Attorney Hiller Moore.
Excuse me? Sorry.
Authorized entry, all within the past 2 years. The WAFBI team found his most recent arrest was dismissed by District Attorney Hiller Moore's office.
Hiller Moore dismissed second-degree rape, second-degree battery, sexual battery, possession of marijuana, theft under $1,000. None of this.
Yet they give you a speeding ticket.
If we just stop letting black people off the hook, all people, but of course, blacks seem to be very overrepresented in this, of course. Dramatically, crime just goes out the window. It's really strange. We just need to incarcerate people when they commit crimes or remove them from society at large. It seems like it's a really simple solution.
Allowing Taylor back out on the streets. The frustration palpable for detectives who repeatedly see the same offenders over and over.
It is a source of contention. It is a source of frustration on our department and with our officers. Why this is happening is some questions that I would love y'all to ask the rest of the judicial system.
Following yesterday's rape, detectives worked quickly, putting photos out on Crime Stoppers Friday morning, and the community responded with an incredible amount of tips.
Within just minutes of us releasing those photos, the public reached out to us and was able to give us information about the location of the suspect. Our detectives then went and were able to arrest the suspect within just a few minutes in the same vicinity.
For neighbors who look after neighbors, if he's found guilty, many of them say they want to see Taylor pay the ultimate price. They want to see the...
What use to society is this man?
Fertilizer.
Basically.
Forced labor, but he's probably too stupid to even do that.
Making big rocks into little rocks. We have machines for that now, right? There's the whole reason why slavery was unprofitable in the first place. We just replaced it. We advanced to a point where it was no longer cost effective. You know,
we replaced it with Indians. Damn it.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think that there's no problem in, you know, you reach such a propensity for criminal activity, violent criminal activity, rapes against the elderly. I think we're just done with you. I think that our justice system should be set up that way. I think, honestly, it's almost like the inverse, right? There's pedophiles who go after the youngest and the most vulnerable. And then people like this who it's just, I guess, targets of opportunity. But you go up against somebody who is so old and so invalid, they might as well be a child in a lot of ways because they don't have the ability to protect themselves, right? They don't have the ability to fight back, right? There's just nothing they can do in that situation. And again, if you take advantage of anyone in those extreme cases where they're literally powerless to stop you, I think that should raise the stakes of the crime and therefore qualify this man from a fast drop and a sudden stop.
States seek castration in this case and more.
I don't think he deserves to live. Honestly.
I agree with him. All right, base take. We got a based Jamaican grill man.
Honestly. Cat, that ain't enough. That ain't enough. You still can walk around. That lady ain't even gonna ever be right again after this.
You're lucky you didn't catch him. You know, you reap what you sow. You reap what you sow. You reap what you sow.
Chief Moore says the evidence is overwhelming as this investigation continues.
When you're looking at one of the most vulnerable parts of our population, the elderly, to take advantage of them in this way, you know, horrendous, unacceptable. I don't know what word you really use. I'm really dumbfounded to try to explain it.
We had a word, a beautiful word, and they stole it from us like they stole everything. They took it from us. It's time to take it back. Our favorite word. I believe, damn it, Jeremy's saying, or Doc, sorry, saying Gary Plausch. All right. We're all a little Gary inside. Now, how about a little bit of, what's the right word for this? Okay, it's still terrifying, it's still horrifying, but how about a little bit of a happy ending? Shall we? A proper ending, shall we? A woman shot and killed 2 teens. I hate teens. In self-defense at a car wash. Not quite a perfect happy ending, because the families are now seeking $1 million in damages against the woman who defended herself against 2 teens.
Please help me! Please help me!
A woman working at a car wash was brutally assaulted by 2 teenagers who also attempted to steal a vehicle. She shot and killed both of them. The families of the 2 teens are now suing her for $800,000. The incident occurred one morning in Florida. The woman was working a part-time shift at a local car wash when 2 suspects believed to be 17 and 18 years old approached her. According to police, the teenagers attacked her without warning, repeatedly punching and kicking her in the face. During the assault, one of the teens jumped into a nearby vehicle, started the engine, and attempted to steal it, while the other continued to restrain and beat the woman, preventing her from escaping. Fearing for her life, the woman drew a legally owned firearm and opened fire. Both teenagers were fatally shot. The woman survived the attack with facial injuries and was taken to the hospital for treatment. The families of the deceased teens have since filed a civil lawsuit, claiming the use of force was excessive and seeking $800,000 in damages.
You have 2, 17, 18, they're men. Okay, you have 2 men attacking a random woman at a car wash. It's not even her car, right? She works there part-time. First off, it's embarrassing that you are not able to instantly overpower the woman and steal the car, right? Just that in and of itself. Because, like, listen, a real professional could do this without any violence at all. This is not complicated, all right? But somehow they're so incompetent they can't even steal the car in the first place.
It was a convertible. They didn't even need to punch her.
They're assaulting the woman, and then the woman defends herself, right? You didn't even need the violence in the first place, but you engaged in violence. You assaulted this woman over and over and over again while operating a vehicle that was moving into her, which could be considered assault with a deadly weapon, of course. And then she kills you. First off, you take the L for not being able to overpower the woman. And second off, like, you played stupid games, you won stupid prizes. Any judge who hears this case should laugh it out immediately. But that's what these types of people do. Anytime they smell blood in the water, suddenly mothers and fathers who abandon their children, who were never there for them, they think they can get a little bit of money out of the system. Take you to civil claims court for $1 million for excessive force. That this sort of lawsuit shouldn't even be tolerated, right? Because the woman who worked part-time at a car wash is going to have to fund legal fees for defending her life? Why?
Do we know if there's a GoFundMe for her?
That I have not seen. I can probably look it up.
The case is now under legal review and has sparked intense public debate. Was this self-defense, or did the response go too far?
Intense public debate. I don't even know how anybody could look at that video and
what is the debate aspect of it?
Debate what? Oh, yeah. 2 teens run up on a woman cleaning a car, violently attack her, steal the car, and she shoots them. Where's the problem? The problem is that they did that in the first place, but, like, where's the problem in her response? There is none. And yes, it's an AI voice, but
I know
I'm pretty sure the story is real.
Everybody uses it. I mean, I'm looking at the article now. So the parents of the teens are reportedly filing a civil lawsuit claiming the shooting was excessive and arguing that the response went beyond what should be allowed even during a conversation. Yeah. No. Totally justified. Totally justified shoot. All right. Why is Jake punching that woman? Forgot I pulled that up.
Maybe real quick before the next. Do we have
Yeah, go
another
ahead.
story after this?
We have a couple more, but yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to mention this before the end of the stream. I just wanted to ask everybody if you could pray for my family. My grandfather just got diagnosed with cancer like 3-4 days ago. So any thoughts and prayers over that would help tremendously.
Yeah, we appreciate that, man. That's not fun to go through, but yeah, we'll be praying for you. Prayers for Dank, for his family, for your grandfather, for your family at this time. And the name is John, right?
Yeah.
John. Okay.
He's 78.
78. About the same age as my dad.
Yep.
Sorry to hear that, man. But yeah, prayers for Dank in the chat right now. Write it down. Don't forget it, or else I'll be very upset with you. All right. Well, let's get to some of these real fast. Lightsport for 2 says guilty. That Enwa is guilty, Uncle Ruckus. Yes, that man is quite guilty. Central Stands Defense for 5 says the justice system isn't broken, guys, right? Like, guys, come on, it works, right? Equal protection under the law, right? Listen, I'm pretty sure if I committed one of those offenses that 94-year-old rapist did, I would be in jail for an extended period of time. Just one of them. Like, listen, if I raped one person, I'm pretty sure I'd be going to jail. But this Enwa can go and just do it over and over again over the course of 2 years, and that's chill, I guess.
I hear
Thank you,
rape's
Central
not
Defense.
that cool, actually.
Rape is actually super uncool. Lena for 2 says dude was trying to keep his score multiplier active. That's a good point. Lena. Thank you very much. Just Some Space Cowboy for 2 says sentenced to be a 1-to-1 ballistic analog. We actually need you for research and development. Your body is going to be used for scientific purposes, and that purpose is seeing what tank shells do to the human anatomy while live. Thank you, Space Cowboy. Appreciate it. Thundercats for 2 says third-party liability for servers, but not judiciary. Yeah, we need to ensure that the judges are held accountable for their actions.
Question: if a parent can be charged for giving their child an AR and the child does something like what we've seen recently, the father of that 14-year-old boy was charged. Why is it that the parents of these youths can't be charged?
I'm sure
man.
you might be able to file a countersuit. Who's to say that they can't? But again, we're talking about a part-time car wash employee. I don't know how much money she has laying around.
No, not
about
civilly.
the countersuit.
Not civilly. The father was charged criminally.
Sure,
As
but
an
gotta remember
accomplice.
this is like anti-gun DAs going after a case that makes sense for them. Youths doing things, DAs apparently just don't care about that. I don't, obviously.
They just let him go.
Like for like, I agree with you that there should be a case there to be argued, but they don't care about this. They don't care about us, right? What good are we going to do in the next election cycle? You know, we don't look good to their voting base. I don't care. In fact, if they helped us out, it would make them look worse to their demographic, to their voting base, because it would make them look like they're, you know, heckin' racist by being tough on crime, because all the crime is committed by a couple demographics.
You're only arresting black people. No, it's like that's who's
Well, they're the only
crimes.
ones committing the crime. So Chant the Man for 2 says, real question is, what org bankrolled their lawyers? It's Soros backed, like the judges are probably. Many such cases. Thank you, Chant the Man. Appreciate it. Polly B for $20. Says would hang. Thank you, Polly B. Appreciate it. Bojangles for 5 says we need more law-abiding citizen type actions taken. Well, of course, here in our Minecraft server, thank you, Bojangles, we don't advocate for people to take the law into their own hands, but we do recognize when justice is not served, there is no recourse for the people other than to take the law into their own hands. It is a necessary conclusion, a necessary entailment of lack of justice. Once the justice system breaks down, people must take it into their own hands. That is just what happens in all societies that fall to anarchy. And what we have now
It's
is like
happened forever and always.
yeah. What we have now is more like I like the word anarcho tyranny, where like for us, there's tyranny. If we do something wrong, if we step out of line, we get punished by the legal system. The legal system works
Speeding
very well. Well, the legal system works very well to take us down, but it simultaneously allows other people to act with impunity, right? So we have anarchy on one side for the people that work to their benefit, and tyranny for people who, follow the law and do good.
Literally just rules for thee, but not for me. And they're just choosing a people group that they think is historically oppressed, which is whatever,
Now this one here, this is an old story, and it's still not any less tragic, but I think the comments on it are really what's important. Okay. So people like to say all sorts of silly things. This happened a while back, I think last year or so. Child 5 shot in the head execution style after riding his bike onto felon's property. Again, this young boy and his father were out riding his bike. This boy at one point had gone into somebody else's yard as he's riding down the neighborhood. Man comes out, executes the child, right? Now, in that case, horrifying, tragic, horrible things should be done to this man, right? For the murder of a 5-year-old child, hanging out with his dad, learning how to ride a bike, all right? And honestly, this is another example of why, as fathers, if there's any fathers in the chat, you must be strapped at all times and ready to defend your children with proper justice at a moment's notice, right?
With intensity and ferocity.
Yes. Now, what happened here, though, is what's important is if you just look at the comments from certain individuals on the Facebook post, I don't give a shiz why it's time for revenge. We're tired shit over with, now we shooting y'all, go cry to mama. And this is a Enwa gloating over a murdered 5-year-old son, a 5-year-old child, gloating over his death because we angry, we want revenge, so we gon' kill y'all, shit. Another one blew his little white privilege brains clean out of his head. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. And again, you don't need to see color. Color always sees you. There's no way about it, all right? These people don't view you as human. They don't view your life as meaningful, as having value. They don't have a Christian sense of Imago Dei, meaning made in the image of God. None of that, all right? They just want you dead and to take your stuff. They'll kill your children and think it's funny. Important to remember who you're dealing with.
Never forget who the enemy is.
Speaking of this one, there's a within the same vein, all right? We talk about what's the problem. It's not just the criminals, but the criminals and the judges work hand in hand here. So this is a young man. Again, I use that term very loosely. Carjacked a woman, forced her to fillet him, forced her to withdraw her cash from the ATM, drove her away, sodomized her. Jury recommended 60 years. And the judge, black judge, for the black man, cuts the sentence in half. Now, I want you, we've seen this before, but I want you guys who haven't seen this to listen to the way that this young man, and again, I use that term very loosely, interacts with the judge here.
But Judge Davis thought the jury's recommendation was too long. She feels he hasn't mentally matured yet and never had a real shot at getting any help early in life.
But if you were to come in here and instead of being hurt and angry, which is what this court hears, right, as a 20-year-old African-American male that has been, experienced this society.
See, she's already caveating and being like, you've experienced this society and all of its evils as a 20-year-old black man. Man, that's a rapist. That's a thief. That's an animal, young ma'am.
Oh, your life was hard? Well, it's about to get a whole lot harder Fuck you. This is.
And she's saying, like, I would have given you even less time had you just not been angry. And listen to the way in which this man deals with her.
Here, right, as a 20-year-old African-American male that has been, experienced this society, etc., and you would show that, yes, okay, this is the situation, this is who I am. I don't want to be this person anymore. I don't want to be in jail for forever.
Thompson repeatedly stated he did not care, not about his sentence, the victim, or her family. But Judge Davis emphasized she's the one that holds the pen, and regardless of what the media may think, she applies the law. To her, 65 years was an extremely long time. As she puts it, it's his whole life, one she doesn't believe should be spent entirely behind bars.
This court does not believe that Mr. Thompson, if given the resources that he can get while incarcerated, is beyond being rehabilitated.
But Judge Davis thought the jury's recommendation was too long.
All right,
No,
let me pull
I
up
agree
the
with
clips
her.
because she actually missed. She missed. Well, yes, I do agree with her as well. For completely different reasons. However, keep talking amongst yourself real fast because I gotta find the full clip there.
Well, I was just saying that I don't think that he should spend 65 years behind bars either. I think that is way, way too long. I think the process should definitely be expedited. I think 30 is even still too long.
You shouldn't even
was
spend
too
a
long.
day in jail. Not one
etc.
day.
And you would show that, yes, situation, I don't want to be this person in jail for forever.
Thompson repeatedly stated.
I know it is. I was trying to find the full clip because the full clip is so much worse. Shoot. Shoot. Because the 20-year-old gentleman is saying things like, I would spit on you, I don't care, to the judge during sentencing. And she still decides, you know what? Half the prison time for you.
Shit, man, he black. He had a hard life. Shit. Well, how about we don't care?
Shoot, I'm trying to find the full clip.
The judge should get 65 years just for how she handled that case, and probably
Actually,
many others.
What if this? What if for every year that they knocked off of somebody's sentence, they had to spend in jail?
If the person reoffended, absolutely. I think that would be something they could pass easily enough. Look, if you knock 10 years off of somebody's sentence and they get out and reoffend, you're serving those 10 years.
$60-year sentence in half. I'm trying to find the full clip for context here. Was it the Gateway Pundit that had it? The full context? No, it's the same one. Yeah, that's obnoxious. They don't have the full clip. I'll try and find that later. It does exist, and it is as bad as you think it would be. All right. Well, how about another bad story, shall we? 22-year-old Australian hero, Aiden Becker was murdered Friday night after intervening to protect a 14-year-old boy from a robbery. The scumbags turned on him and fatally stabbed him with a machete. 4 aged 16 to 18 were arrested. Our government has blood on their hands. Rest in peace to Aiden. A 22-year-old man steps up to try and protect somebody that he sees getting roughed up, getting robbed, and the payment for his kindness, for his heroism, is murder. By who? Well, it looks to be
He doesn't look
a couple,
Australian.
Yeah, not very Australian, you know? I know they're usually looked at as like a jolly, happy people, you know, full of sunshine and whatnot, but those people don't look too Australian. Maybe those are part of the new Australians that their government is talking about. Unfortunately, again, we see the same patterns repeat over and over and over again with youths and males aged 14 to 18.
I think
But
you mean
again,
stolen cars.
yes, and stolen cars, also one of my favorites, stolen cars. A German judge lets 8 men who gang raped girl walk free. Huh. It's almost like some of these people are allowed to act with total impunity at all times for any reason and not get any consequences to their actions whatsoever. And then they go ahead and they act like it and they continue to just do the same things over and over again. But listen, we're an equal opportunity offender here. Okay. Microsoft hires an Indian CEO, Satya Nadella. First thing he does is fire 15,000 American workers, as you do. Announce new 7,328 hires from India via H-1Bs or other programs, and then invest $17.5 billion in AI investment in India. So yeah, how's all the new jobs looking? How's that going for Americans, Mr. Trump?
This is really helping
How's that
me
going?
specifically out.
And in this same time frame, this is when Windows was having all those update issues and whatnot. And it's because they're just using these people to make our lives miserable. They get into power, they instantly remove all competency, all competition, and fill it up with their own people.
Can we get a poll for chat? Who's worse, this guy or Bill Gates?
Bill Gates is worse. This guy's just a pawn. Bill Gates is like actually evil. Not sure if this guy actually has much going on upstairs, right? He's just a tool. Just a tool. Speaking of tools, though, I may have misplaced it really fast. Where did I put it? Oh, yeah, speaking of Indians, right? Of course. Our favorite genre. Truck driver who leaves California girl with traumatic brain injury flees home to India. I feel like you shouldn't be allowed to flee home after you ruin somebody's life. Or fortunately, this girl's still alive, of course, because there's a lot of cases where you see, family of 4 murdered on the highway by some Jeet without a proper CDL, or who was illegal but somehow had a CDL, which shouldn't even be possible, right?
California just gives them a CDL driver's license and leaves the name blank, and then they
And again,
have free reign to go kill some family.
We
And
can't
even one person killed by this would be too much.
Exactly.
But it's a common thing.
It just happens over and over again. You put these retards, these literal like 72 IQ retards behind an 80,000 pound machine, and bad things end up happening. Shocker. And I mean, obviously some of the other disgusting byproducts that come with them. But yeah, no, these are literal bioweapons in a lot of cases, right? Literal bioweapons. But remember, we can't just hold them accountable because, of course, that's kind of low IQ. Totally fine and justified, but that's not enough. You need to also go after the shipping companies, the politicians, all of them at every level that facilitate this even being a possibility.
The people who are hiring them, everybody involved in facilitating this, because it is directly affecting you. It is directly affecting all of us.
And this is one of those things where there's no even protection against it, right? Because I can keep my family safe here, right? I don't need them to go to bad parts of town. We don't live around certain types of people. But if my wife drives anywhere, well, how am I supposed to protect her from an 80,000 pound retard? Like and it could just happen at any point in time randomly, right? You know, so this is one of those things where it's like I've positioned myself to keep myself, my family very safe in a very good environment, where there's very low crime. There's not a lot of ethnics around here. But again, if it's on the road, what are you supposed to do about it? What's the preventative measures for being around this type of person?
I think it's time we start charging the business owners and the people who hire these drivers.
All right. Another dark story, shall we? Babysitters, okay? We all hate babysitters, right? She had one job to do and one job only. Babysit a 22-month-old child. Instead, checks notes. She murdered the kid. She tried playing the victim card in front of the judge, got life in prison with no possibility of parole. At least in this case, there was some level of justice, not the amount of justice I would prefer, but at least life in prison, no parole. You get to rot for the rest of your life, which is the proper outcome. But look at her. I hate all this. Look at her like lawyer, like trying to comfort her, trying to be like, it's all right, as she's freaking out, like getting read the sentence from the judge, right?
My life to prove, and I am deeply sorry. I didn't mean to prolong this case for 3 years, but I also wanted to fight for my life to prove that I am not what these charges say I am. I have to live with this my entire life.
On count 2, the felony murder, you are sentenced to the Department of Corrections for a period of life.
Yeah, I'm gonna answer that.
I like how even in a, I imagine, professionally prepared statement for the judge, in the last ditch effort to save yourself from justice, you say, I'm not what these charges say that I am.
I ain't do shit.
Even in your last moments as a free, semi-free person, I suppose, you have to obfuscate and you have to deny and fail to take accountability. Even in your last ditch effort, you know, take accountability, still challenge impossible.
It took her longer to go through this court process than what that child was alive.
Yeah,
Almost twice as long.
3 years. Yeah. 22 months versus 3 years, and you get to spend the rest of your life breathing and existing while that child does not.
Which is more than you deserve as is.
Yeah, somehow I don't feel bad for you. Now, let's cross over into the pond, shall we? Here's a wonderful little reassuring story. Shiraz Ali, British man, somehow doesn't look very British to me, has been given a whole life term for murdering Breon Gawith and her 3 children in a house fire in Bradford. Breon Gawith, 29, and her 3 children, Density, 9, Oscar, 5, and Aubrey, age 22 months, were killed when their family home was set on fire by Mr. Shiraz Ali. Now, I don't know about you, but there is no level of justice that would satisfy the outcome here on this man, right? There's nothing you could do to him personally that would ever satisfy the debt that he has created with the murder of these 4 people, right? The murder of this family. Life in prison isn't enough. However, there is a way to satisfy the debt. Again, and it involves everybody involved in the government that brought them over, any of the NGOs facilitating their transfer, any of the people in the steps allowing this sort of thing to happen over and over and over again need to receive at least the exact same sentence.
The people who enabled this and facilitate this should be, I can't say on YouTube, but you know what I think.
That's our FBI director, by the way. Thank you, Chael. that is literally our FBI director right now. Just as dysgenic. Now, speaking about dysgenic things, this one is going to be a little spicy, gentlemen, but in honor of International Women's Day, I feel like it's appropriate. So, we don't do things to kids. Disgusting. Put these adults in the wood chipper. Yes, please. How many years in prison for the adults involved? Yesterday was a big day for my beautiful daughter. This is a son. This is a boy being castrated chemically by the mother. Insane mother should be put preferably to death in a just society with millstones and, other things involved, I'm sure. But this is a young boy, propagandized, brainwashed, getting mutilated in some horrifying, satanic, scientific experiment and posted online for psychopath mommy to get some updates on Reddit, to get some likes on Facebook. Sacrificing your child to ball for a good harvest. Sorry, I meant likes on Facebook. See, people think that we used to be so much more barbaric, but now we're progressive. We wouldn't do such evil things. We would never sacrifice, children for, good harvest or for rain or for success in battle or whatever it might be. We're not barbaric, though. I'll mutilate a child for some Reddit gold, though. We think about the Aztec temples where they were sacrificing, up to 1,000 people a day on them, blood running everywhere.
Cricket numbers.
Pittance for the numbers Planned Parenthood is putting up, It's like all humanity's wars forever versus the last 40 years of abortion. Women. 1 in 10 women is a serial killer, 1 in 4 women has killed somebody, has murdered someone. All right. And that's what happens when you give women equality, when you allow them to do what they want to do. It seems that almost like they were designed ontologically to be held in submission to men and not be allowed to indulge in their fancies. Almost like that's something that from the dawn of time that's need to be restrained in women.
Crazy how that works.
Sometimes the jokes write themselves, though. From The Advocate. Injustice. How the Sex Offender Registry destroys LGBT rights? Could you say that again, but slower? I also like how in the image, they show you children. It's under 5 foot children. How the Sex Offender Registry destroys LGBT rights.
Yeah, because the children are the criminals in this.
Well, so Bryce Kimball says, I think women raised by strong fathers are pretty decent. Yes, but because they were under a man, right? Women without a man in their life, disastrous, horrifying outcomes. You can pick and choose a couple examples here that are counter of the point, but by and large, as a general rule, that's true, right? I agree. If you're a strong father and you have good girls that you raised up, they are under you. The wife is under you. The women, the children are under her, right? But it's under your umbrella. You are the father in that scenario. It is your responsibility. And the same way for my personal family. My wife is under me, the children are under her, and they're all under me, right?
Well, just because she's in the basement.
Literally and metaphorically. Under me, yes. Yes, indeed.
No, but kind of talking about this story, I mean, as somebody who lives in Colorado, I mean, not too long ago, we had a bill get vetoed by our lawmakers that was going to increase punishments on sex offenders. And their stated reasoning for vetoing this bill was because they didn't want it to affect like child drag shows and them possibly being considered pedophiles or sex offenders. So they vetoed this bill that would have increased the punishment on pedophiles. It's just evil. It's just evil. I hate where I live. Yeah.
I hate where you live too. All right.
Yeah,
I feel it's mutual.
It was 13 lawmakers in Colorado. I forget their names, but you could look it up pretty easily.
Now, listen, I don't believe in transgenderism at all. You're all messed up in the head. I'm not going to validate your mental illness. It's just not going to happen. You can't bully me into it. In fact, I'm going to bully you out of it because bullying works. Because, well, I apologize to everybody's eyes for what you're about to infer here. This is on Reddit, of course, 4chan4. DIY Orky video in process, and fortunately much of this is blocked out. Now you might be asking yourself, what in tarnation is an Orky video? Orky is short for orectomy, which is the surgical removal of one or both testicles. This trans Redditor is putting together a do-it-yourself video on how to perform an at-home orectomy to validate his gender identity. If you are so insane that you are castrating yourself, I don't take your political takes. I don't take your social takes. I don't really even want you out and about in public. You are literally a danger to yourself. And you should be.
Institutionalized.
Yes. Like, listen, if somebody's cutting themselves or about to commit suicide, you know what we do? We take them to a psych ward because they're having a psychotic episode. They're having a psychotic breakdown and they need help. If you're castrating yourself at home and thinking that helping other people to castrate themselves is somehow healthy, yeah, you're going in a mental institution. We're making asylums great again. And you're probably never coming out, but at least society will be safe from you.
We need to convince them that their testicles are actually formed in the frontal lobe of the brain, and in order to be truly trans, they have to remove that too.
Yeah.
On the plus side, self-sterilization. Well, you have to remember that these people,
they don't reproduce.
They don't reproduce
your kids.
They don't reproduce biologically, right? They reproduce through trauma, through quite literally transferring their sins to somebody else, right? And yeah, that's the timeline we live in. And remember, any time that these people are like, trans rights are human rights, I'm like, psycho rights are human rights? That's what you're saying. That is what you're saying. You're saying psychotic rights are human rights. I'm like, no, you're psychotic. You don't have a right to exist in public. You don't have a right to public spaces. You don't have a, what are these rights you're talking about? You're literally insane, right? It's like the same thing. Murderer rights are human rights. I'm like, nah, we kind of decided that you don't have rights, actually. And since rights are just a social construct, we can choose what rights you do and don't have. Therefore, get in the box. Right? We're no longer willing to play with you. Speaking of playing, there is an undertone to all of these. And there's a reason why I saved this post for last, okay? Because it kind of hits the hardest. We're just talking about this. But talking about the consequences of allowing certain ideologies and peoples to run rampant within your societies, it just has negative consequences, all right? So, of course, from the American Tribune, breaking, Indiana judge Christina Kleinman has issued a ruling claiming that there is a religious right to kill babies in abortions. Kleinman issued a permanent injunction blocking Indiana's abortion ban based on the outrageous claim. Miss Kleinman here, you say?
Boy,
there's something off here, Miss Kleinman. There's something off on here. A right. You have a right. See, this is what people talk about. You get trans rights. Kids. Right to murder children in utero. Right to rip them out piece by piece. Right to stab them in the head with needles, you know? Rights. Yeah, this is the thing. I'm no longer interested in talking with you about these supposed rights. We're just going to impose force upon you and get you to stop. And if you don't like it, you can leave, or worse. Sorry.
I hear there's a whole country full of you people. Go there. And then maybe we'll glass that country. But, go over there. We don't want you here.
Miss kind of a man. Yeah, I'm just thinking the religion you're following is just satanic. That's just all it is, 2,000 years later, 3,000 years later, not much has changed. Anyways, completely unrelated. Here's a Jewish rabbi talking about American Christians.
The origins of Christianity and how it wasn't an accident, but it was a gift, possibly a mistaken gift, that Yaakov Avinu gave Esau. You will live by the sword. You will serve your brother. This is what Yitzchak tells Esau. Yitzchak tells Esau, you'll live by the sword. You'll serve your brother. Literally, that means that, the Jews will have the shul, will have the house. And if you need someone to clean it, you call one of Esau's descendants to clean it. What is the...
That's us, by the way. There was that rabbi the other day was saying each Jew will have like 2,800 goyim as slaves when their Messiah comes back. Spoiler alert, their Messiah is the Antichrist, by the way.
Meaning that Yaakov.
Sorry, go ahead.
Did you see the clip that was floating around this past week of a Jew and a Christian man having a debate, and the Jew basically saying, well, you Christians are wrong because you only worship one Jew.
You should be worshiping all of us. No, I've seen that's a prolific clip. Great clip.
Esav hated Yaakov because of the bracha. Again, we translate it literally. You will serve your brother. The word ta'avoid, serve, has another meaning as well. You will worship Hashem. What does avoida mean? Avoida means service, but avoida means worship also. And this is the prophecy of Yitzchak Avinu, that the Christian world will worship Klal Yisrael as their God. V'rav yavoid soyer. And the older brother not will serve the younger brother. The older brother will worship the younger brother as their religion. That Shem predicted from the beginning of time that Esav will worship a Jew as their religion. That's the nevuah of Yitzchak Avinu. That's the nevuah of Shem. What an astounding nevuah. And if you want to know why Esav hates Yaakov, it's not because we're socialists, capitalists, Bundists, Yiddishists. The Esav hates Yaakov because they suffer from a lack of identity and self-confidence, and that they have to worship us. That's the root of anti-Semitism, says Ramosha David.
Anyways, the Goyim have to worship them. It's fine. It's fine. Surely that doesn't feed into the rest of their worldview or the way that they treat other people. This is a funny clip I saw going around. In front of a pro-Palestinian demonstrators in Nice, a passerby simulates an anti-Semitic attack as soon as the police arrive. What a disgrace. Are you saying that they cry out as they strike you? I think it's an old Russian proverb or something like that.
They never
This woman
exaggerate
steps
and
in.
make stuff up.
This woman steps in like, whoa, you can't. You're so anti-Semitic attacking that man. You're so evil. You're Look at him pretending, bending over. He's acting like he just got stabbed. He really just saw someone drop a penny down the drain.
These guys have never made up anything about things that have happened to them. I've never seen that happen once.
Was he down on the ground?
No, he's still standing right now. He was flopping around though. And again, he's arguing with pro-Palestinian protesters, whatever, not my thing, but do your thing. And then he just, of course, pretends to be the victim of some heinous attack that just never happened. And I love how in the previous clip, they're talking about how all of the Goyim are so self-conscious because we have to worship them, of course, within their religion. But I don't know, man. I don't know who's self-conscious here about it.
He was down on the ground. He was down on the ground. Holy shit. Wow.
Let me fast forward there again. I want to see that. Did he actually get all? He did.
He
He took a knee.
He
He
went
took
all the
a
way down to the
knee.
ground.
He was struck 6 million times. I did see a couple. They were lightning fast. But actually, let me see. Do I have the freeze frame here of him pretending? Yeah, this is like my child when I say, no, that's the last episode of Batman the Animated Series or something. That's the sort of temper tantrum I get here. Maybe if you guys didn't act like 3-year-olds, and maybe if you didn't suck baby penises, and maybe if you didn't have all the other, the porn, the banks, the entertainment, the pedophilia, the other things going around, maybe if it wasn't for all of that, we would live peaceably. But
Attacking
say la
us
vie.
and getting us into forever wars with false flags, but hey, you should worship
Hey,
us, guys.
don't ask about what Israel has done to you. Ask what you can do for Israel. Bushmaster over on Rumble says, I had a nightmare last night that I had to utilize my SIG Pro 2009 on some brigands, and the initial double action pole was too heavy and I couldn't fire. I'll be dry firing in the garage if you need me. Dude, I've had those dreams before, where it's like you have a gun and something, because I'm a very lucid dreamer, so I usually exert a large amount of control over my dreams, and things are just going wrong, and I'm just so annoyed, because I'm like, this isn't how it would really go. I know I'm in a dream. I'm like stuck here. Things aren't working properly. I'm in an odd location. There's odd people, and I'm just annoyed, right? That's how my dreams go. Sometimes they go really good, though. Sometimes they're pretty cool. Alfiber for 10 says, I'm in Florida. It really depends on the county. Some are very, very lefty, and that's exactly what they do. Sickening. I had a house built in a deeply red county just for stuff like this. Yeah. And that's the thing. You got to surround yourself with people like you. You need to be able to negotiate from a place of strength, right? Even if you have like a good sheriff, but you have a blue wacky DA, like imagine getting like a justified shoot in self-defense and some liberal DA wanting to make an example out of you, right? 10 feet down the road in another district, you're safe. Right here, you're screwed, right? And that's the American justice system. But that's why you need to be aware of who these people are and set you and your family up in a position of success. Thank you for the $10, sir. I appreciate it. Doc Brown for 5 says, what if this is just laziness on these inner city DAs? A lot of cases combined with not really giving an F. I don't really care. If you're lazy and you forget to tighten the bolts on a wheel and then it comes off during the road and somebody dies because of it, that's called negligence, and we punish you for that, right? So I understand what you mean. It could be a combo of the two, but you still deserve to be punished for it. Thank you, Doc. Axegrind for 2 says, rest in peace, Cannon. I'm sorry we let you down, little buddy. Yeah, and it is true. It is absolutely true that not only, the father in that circumstance, but we as a society do hold some of the blame for these things happening that we allow to propagate within our societies, and that's why we as the men, right? Because there's no women here, let's be real. We as the men have to stand up and do something to ensure that this thing does not happen, right?
Real quick, I gotta go to work tomorrow early in the morning, so I'm gonna head out right now, but you guys have a great night.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dank.
Everybody take care.
And don't forget to pray for Dank's grandfather who has cancer, John, and we'll keep you in our prayers, buddy. Thank you for hanging out.
He's a cool guy. He's a cool guy. I hope he's around for a few more years.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, have a good night, Dank. Appreciate it.
See you.
Axegrind for 5 says, I love white people. Who's with me? Yeah, I like white people. My favorite people. Thank you, Axegrind. Appreciate it. Modern Frontier Project for 2 says AI equals actually Indians. Many such cases. Thank you, Modern Frontier Project. Bojangles for 5 says, looks like Umbrella is really cheaping out on the BOW, the bow. Yeah. Thank you, Bojangles. I appreciate it, ma'am. Axegrind for 2 says, Medicare, how the sausage is made. If you know, you know. I do like Medicare, but I'm not familiar with that video. So I need to probably look that up. Thank you, Axegrind.
I've heard it referenced.
Mm-hmm. I don't want to know about sausage. Gives me nightmares. Ditch Handbomb for 2 says, these people need to stop wasting resources. Yeah, I wish. Amrite Boy for 2 says, a commie had a dream until the FBI used a 30-06 that also stopped in his neck somehow. Just coincidence, though. But thank you, Amrite Boy. I appreciate it. Thank you for the 2. All right, I think over on Ko-Fi, there's a couple. Andrew N for 5 says, trust me, I'm trying, in reference to trying to get rid of Lindsey Graham. Primary that man. And then he follows up, says, oh, and hashtag tally over Rex. And more importantly, Christ is king. Christ is king. Thank you, Andrew. Although I have a good Mass Effect joke written for my next video. I think it's going to hit. Lightspore for 3 says, this is a joke. It's actually Desert Rat's IP. This is also a joke, but I'm sure he would love to hear it. Fair enough. Oh, that's funny. You, okay, I see. He changed his name to a specific IP address, which again, I can't read out on stream, but very funny. Thank you for that, Lightsport. All right.
We don't dox the sand mouse.
No, Gep Gekadal, you don't want to know? Okay, fair enough. Dark Matter says, Focus, thank you for making night shift worth it. Well, listen, I'm glad I can provide you some entertainment while working. I used to work till 4 o'clock in the morning as a Penske forklift operator. So that was fun. So, having somebody out there that could pass the time with, I get it, man. It helps. So thank you for actually putting in hard work, bro. Thank you. All right. I think that's all we got for tonight, gentlemen. I know it was a good amount of rage, a good amount of drama mixed with the two, a little bit of gun news in the middle somewhere, I'm sure. But Richard, what do you got going on, homie?
Well, I'm going to be refilming some things because I spent a majority of yesterday recording stuff, and when I got home last night to edit, all of the files for the day were corrupted. None of them would open. None of them were usable in any way, shape, or form. So I get to go do that all again, which was great fun.
That is how that goes. Surprisingly, that happens a lot. The more you record, you're gonna have videos that just disappear, files get corrupted. Yep, and you just got to do it again. But it gives you a chance to improve it. And
the first one was obviously going to be shit anyways. But now I'm going to obviously be setting up 2 cameras just in case one of them goes down. So at least then I'll have extra B-roll and some other things that I missed out on the first one that I realized that I missed out on it afterwards. So, but in that moment, you don't really think about it, and I'm learning. So bear with me. But if you guys aren't aware, I did start a YouTube channel a while back, and
it's Richard's Headspace, right?
Yeah. I think I got it here. If you don't.
Well, I got the link here, and I'll drop that in YouTube and in the Rumble chat. That is Richard's Headspace. If you want to go check that out on YouTube, he's got a channel going to be uploading more wholesome content onto it. So you should go check it out and subscribe. Have a good night, Frank. Good to see you here, sir. Hoping to shoot some matches soon. It's getting into good weather with some sunlight out there. So
I am excited about that. I did meet a guy at my local runnings the other day, and it turns out he's the match director for the area. So he invited me out to come and shoot some matches at a range that I thought was members only. But he said, no, members are members only for range time. The matches are open to the general public. So
yeah, that's usually how it is. I also dropped in the link in the chat, Jim Eagle, his channel, because he's 1 sub away from 500. So one of you poor retards, go over there and subscribe right now. Right now, do it, or else I'll put on the mommy voice. No, I'll put on the mommy voice anyways. One of
you good boys is gonna go over there and subscribe to Jim Eagle UC. Do it for mommy, kill a commie. Ooh.
Was that a good?
It was awful. So yes.
All right. No, Katie says, so is the Focus Clips 2 channel dead? No, it's not dead. It has 2 strikes on it, which means that we can't upload till next week. I have to take control of the uploading because if we get another strike, it will nuke, I believe, all of my channels.
Yeah.
So, really not worth uploading on it right now. If it literally nukes all of my channels, that'd be very problematic. So we have to go forward with another strategy, and that's what we're doing. So, fair enough. Anyways. So with all that out of the way, gentlemen, I have I'm working on a new video. I got a new script. I'm doing more shooting than I ever have today. Today the tuna can video went live on gun.deal, so you should go check that out. I have another one coming out later this week on something or other, I'm sure. I got a lot of shooting to do this week. It's going to be a good time. So with all that out of the way, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you in the next one. God bless. Godspeed. Christ is.
Cannot believe how beautiful your voice is, but I can't.